I call this City Commission of the City of Pahokee regular commission meeting of Tuesday, August the 24th, 2021 to order at 6:30 p.m. Will we please stand for the invocation provided by the Deacon Kenny Biggs, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you at this time, Lord. We give you thanks, praise, glory, and honor. Father, we ask forgiveness for our sin, and we thank you for life, health, and strength, pain and suffering, trials, tribulations, and burdens. Now, Heavenly Father, as we prepare to take care of the business of this great city, Father God, we pray that you look in on us, God, that we do things decent and in order. Father, you said in your word, of my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways. Then will you hear from heaven and heal their land. Father, we need a healing right now, Lord. There's so much going on, so much turmoil in this city, Father God, and we need to bring it to an end. We need to learn to love one another, Father God. We need to get on the same page, Father God. There's no black thing, there's no white thing, Father God, but there is a right and a wrong, Father God, and we pray that you allow us to correct what's wrong, Father God, to make this thing right. Lord, we need you this evening. Can't do it without you, Father God. So, God, as we move forward, we pray that we, again, do this in decent and in order. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Bab,
Present.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Present.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Present.
Commissioner Mervin,
Present.
Commissioner Perez, Interim City Manager,
Present.
City Attorney,
Present.
City Clerk, present.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, staff. And especially thanks to each of our residents for coming out to participate in our City Commission meeting of Tuesday, August the 24th, 2021. Before we begin, I just want to do a little housekeeping. COVID is still out there, especially in our Glades community. I would ask as individuals, please, as much as possible, try to social distance yourself. If anyone is feeling ill, and we all know the symptoms, runny nose, fever, and those things. If you're feeling ill or have come in contact with anyone who have COVID, please, for the sake of yourself, people in the audience, and any surrounding individual, if you would exit the building if you're sick. Thank you. Now we'll move to the additions, deletions, and approval of the agenda items. I'll just like to make one recommendation. The mayor report has been stricken from the agenda. Interim city attorney, interim city manager should be doing the agenda, but Attorney Brandenburg have taken it upon himself to act in several roles in this city, including commissioner and mayor. I ask that item be put back on according to rules of procedure. The mayor report is a standard report. This city will be going on its 100-year anniversary in March, and it's been there for 100 years. And for him to take it off, I know he's going to advise the commission at a later date that that item be removed. Is an effort on his behalf to attempt to silence the mayor. He did read out the duties at the last meeting, Section 204, duties of the mayor. The mayor shall preside over the meetings of the commission and shall be recognized as the head of the city government for service of process, ceremony matters, execution of contracts, deeds, and other documents. And that is
Mayor,
one item.
you can add that on the agenda, I don't mind. And it was left off inadvertently.
No,
Mayor, you're a commissioner. Of course, under commissioner comments, you can make comments just like everybody else.
I agree with that.
So,
Don't use, it wasn't inadvertently. I brought it to your attention and the city clerk, and you told her to leave it off.
Mayor, okay, add it on.
Okay.
The ordinance I have on for your review tonight makes it not part of the agenda, and you'll be commenting along with all the other city commissioners. As you know, as mayor, you have no more authority than any commissioner.
I have a lot more authority.
You have no authority to tell
Okay.
city employees to do anything.
I never told a city employee to do anything.
Okay, then we agree. Thank you.
Mayor Bab,
Let's be in order.
Mayor Bab, if I can say something.
Let's
Let me just say this, Mayor Bab, point of order, please. Whether I hear what Mr. Brandenburg is saying, whether it's on the agenda or not, you controls this meeting. You are the chair of every commission meeting. You can talk whether it's in the beginning of the meeting, the middle of the meeting, the end of the meeting. You controls this. He works for you.
I agree. I will be making my report.
So that's how that goes.
I'll be making my report.
Mr. Mayor, can I make an addition to the,
Yes.
okay. I'd like to make an addition that, because we have a long agenda, if we don't get finished tonight, that we come back at 10 o'clock in the morning and finish this meeting.
I'm tired of these early morning meetings where our communities don't have access to these meetings. If we have to say on 12 o'clock, you've been asking for a long meeting. We've been trying to get you out of here on a timely manner.
Just govern yourself
But
according to
it's-
I'm all for finishing tonight, I'm just
Okay.
asking.
Is that a motion, Vice Mayor?
Yes, it is.
You're not presiding, city attorney. You need to be.
Mayor, if you read that part in full,
Uh-huh.
it says in the charter that any decision by the mayor on how to run the meeting
You
can
cannot-
be overturned and overridden
But you
by
inter-
3
You
commissioners.
interfering.
That's what they're doing right now.
You're not presiding. You're not presiding.
Mayor, there's a motion and a second on the floor. You gonna call a vote on it?
It haven't been a second. Who seconded?
Mayor Bab, honestly, these two up here look like they're about sick. Honestly, I think we need to be very careful, because I'm looking at Regina Bowling now, and very, very careful, because I think, from just looking, that they don't look very well tonight.
Okay, there's been a motion and second. Mayor,
You're
are
not-
you gonna
you-
run the meeting or not?
You're not the presiding officer.
Then,
You're
okay.
not the presiding officer. You're the city attorney. You should be speaking when your report is due. That's the only time, or some legal issues that we ask a question on.
Mayor, are you going to argue with the city charter? I'm sure you will abide by the city charter,
Why are
which
you-
says that any decision by you
You out of
can be
order.
overridden.
You're not going to run this meeting. You're out of order, sir.
Okay, well, I'd suggest the commission vote on the motion anyways.
No,
The
you
mayor's
don't,
not going to
you don't
cooperate.
have you read the charter yourself?
Yes,
I'm the
I did.
chairperson of the meeting. Let me run the meeting.
Did you read it? It says that any action by you can be overridden by 3 commissioners.
What action
There-
would that be?
That would be
Yes.
the action of adding that to the agenda.
You
and
may be
voting
lucky
on
you
it.
don't get this board, man. You're giving some bad legal advice. Let's move to the motion.
Thank you.
There's a motion by Vice Mayor Bolden and second by Commissioner Perez that we'll extend our meeting till 10:30 in the morning.
But why? I
in
can't come
event-
there, I works at midnight.
If we don't get done tonight,
We'll get done.
What's the reason for?
okay?
We don't want that. We want to meet tonight.
We'll meet, just in the event that it doesn't occur.
Tell me to shut up. Tell me to shut up.
Okay.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
What was the meeting? What was the
Vice
The
Mayor Bowman.
motion was to have the meeting extended to 10:30 in the morning in the event that we don't finish tonight.
Oh, if we don't finish.
So they already anticipated for it not to,
They already anticipated it.
crazy.
Can it be 5 or 6 o'clock so that the public can attend?
It should be, it really should. All these early morning meetings is a plot to keep you from being involved in it. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Bowman,
Yes,
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
No.
Mayor Bab.
No. Motion passed by 3 vote, 3 to 2 vote.
Mayor, there's several other additions to the agenda. Would you like to hear those?
No, I don't. I would like to hear from our city manager, not the city attorney.
Mr.
That's who
Chair,
that's who handles the agenda. Yes, city.
Mr. Chair, I have one addition. It's Resolution 2021-28. Whereas the city of Pahokee desires to hire PC Network Solution to provide business technology consulting and unlimited remote service network maintenance and support and troubleshooting service.
What's the resolution again?
2021-28. You should have it.
2021-78.
28.
28.
28.
Yes, sir, you should have it in your
Okay,
agenda.
okay.
Mayor, there are 3 other items of important city business. I would think as mayor, you would like to hear what they are and perhaps
City
add them
manager.
to the agenda.
Are you speaking for the city manager or the mayor? You're the city attorney. I think you probably instructed the city manager of what he needs to do to move any items forward.
Well, maybe we can ask the city manager if he would like to have these items added to the agenda.
You out of order. I don't know if you do this at Cluison or just speak out anytime you want to and run their meeting. I'm not sure.
Okay, so would you ask the city manager
No,
that
you
question?
should still, are you presiding over the meeting? I'm not.
All you need to do is shut up.
Hey, let's be cordial. Let's be cordial. City manager, you have any additional items to be added or considered?
City manager, you could refer to me.
Mr. Chair, since I don't have history with these articles, I'm going to refer it to legal counsel.
City manager, you can pay
No.
$10,000 a month. I hope you up and running. I hope you up and running. Because Brendan Byrd, at this point, as I stated earlier, want to be the city manager, the city attorney, the city clerk, the city mayor, and the commission. And if he didn't mind working, he would want to be staff.
Mr. Chair, these 2 articles have recently come up,
Okay.
and
Well-
I'm not prepared to read them.
Thank you. We'll move with what's on the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda item as presented.
Mayor Bab, Resolution 2021-28, the add-on.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a second? Commissioners, I know Bernie Bird in charge, but y'all can speak.
They can speak, they can say.
I mean, you're being elected to run this city.
They don't know what they're doing.
People talking.
You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You're all drunk up. You don't-
Let's be in order. Let's be in order.
Yeah. Nobody's talking to you either.
Still don't want to talk.
Commissioner Perry, both, let's stay in order. If there's a motion on the floor to accept the agenda as presented with the add-on of resolution 2021-28. People can't speak. puppets. There's puppets in here.
And we voted them in. Bomber heels.
March 20, 2022. Y'all have a problem with making a motion to accept the agenda item?
They don't know what to do.
Mayor, perhaps they'd like to hear from me.
I would- Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
Is this to,
That's not how that goes.
I'd like to
code enforcement?
know what the other items that should been,
He said he's not prepared, so there's no items. You got the city manager, he makes $10,000, he can talk.
Okay,
That's
that
what-
would be
that's
a
what he's
motion to override the mayor and allow the city
No.
attorney to
No.
You can't
set
no,
forth
you
the
can't
items
speak
that
out
are
of order.
necessary for the city to go
No.
forward.
No.
We need to go to Clifton
Boyd,
too,
y'all
and
know
let
that's
them know
Y'all know that's wrong.
what he has.
Y'all know that's wrong. Sarah, y'all know that's wrong.
If,
Let them get our city business.
if the city,
They
if
know
the
that's
city
wrong. That's
manager,
wrong.
if the city manager bring forth an item that he want to add to the agenda, it will be added.
You've already moved
If
on.
there's a
We moved
motion. We have moved on.
Mayor, there's been another motion.
No, it wasn't.
I put in a motion.
Okay, we're gonna go through with the agenda.
I can't put a motion in.
Are you the city manager?
No, we moved
just told
on.
me to speak.
Mr. Chair, would you want me to
Make up
define,
your mind. You either want me to talk or you don't want me to talk. Damn it.
would you
And
want
now
me,
you're cursing, you need to be
Because I'm getting
out,
mad.
man.
You're telling me to speak. I'm speaking.
But
You
you ain't
come
got
against
nothing
me.
to say. You need to tell that to Brandenburg. You sitting up there, you a bobblehead too.
Bobblehead.
Hey,
Who's bobblehead?
Are you gonna
Keep
take
confusing me.
control of this meeting or not?
Well, then, just-
For somebody
Take
who,
control of the audience?
for
Because
somebody
all the
who's
times you have
constantly,
taken
for
control.
somebody who constantly interrupt, that's a bold statement from you.
And that's
Okay, we're gonna move on with the agenda.
If
You
accuse
was
me
making
of
a
being
motion to
drunk
add
one more
anything.
time, I am going to sue you
ain't no- I ain't
for
got
slander
You
of
still drunk.
character.
I ain't got nothing for you to get. You still drunk. So what you gonna get? You got 2 dogs and a lawnmower.
I might be drunk, but you're high on drugs.
come on.
Get that.
Commissioners, can we take care of the business of the city, please?
yes, please, let's move forward with the business at hand.
If you can speak up and have some authority, we can. If you got to refer to Brandenburg, who you is his superior, I don't know. I'm open to you asking to add an item if you have an
Mayor
additional
Bear, they
item.
moved
needed.
on. We moved
I
on
did.
with the one that's added to
You have a motion and a
2021-28.
Mayor, we need to add on a discussion of the city's
You're not
insurance.
running this meeting, Brandenburg. You're not running the meeting. You're not running the meeting.
Shut up. I don't know how you get in there.
That's in the charter that the mayor run the meeting.
Yeah, we heard that already 3 times. And
No, we
I've
need to
already
hear it
said
more.
that the other commissioners can override you, and you
How
know
can
it.
they can't, this is,
So
this
is there a motion to
you
allow
know,
the city attorney to add items to the
you out of
agenda
the order.
that are necessary for the city to proceed?
You're not running this meeting.
I'd
You're not
like
running
to
the meeting.
make a motion for the city attorney to make the changes to the agenda items so that we could proceed with this
And
meeting.
you need to keep on your mask if you're helpful.
I put the mask on and take it off as I please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Second,
Repeat the motion.
I'd like to make a motion for the city attorney to make the changes to the agenda items so that we could.
No, the city attorney is not, the city attorney is the city attorney. He's not gonna be making any changes. He's telling you how to vote. He's telling you how to vote. What more you want him to do for you?
There's a motion and there's a second.
Okay, we're gonna move on with the item that was originally,
Mayor, you can't ignore a motion and a second by your commission.
Now, how you can say that? Be quiet, how you can say that? They ain't even talking to you.
that motion is out of order to let the city attorney is actually running the city into the ground.
Okay, so you need to vote on that motion.
Mr. Chair, the motion is on the floors for this
He's our
edition.
problem. Motion to get rid of him. Yes, sir.
who's the boss, you or him? I just need to be clear on that. I'm not sure.
Mr. Chair,
They don't know.
Mr. Chair,
manager has
the
never been the
citizens
boss
of
of the city
Pahokee
attorney.
deserve better than this. Let's conduct the business of the citizens of Pahokee. They're not to be held hostage because of political siding. Let's stay out of the political fodder and handle the business of the city, please. Is that authoritative enough for you? Let's take care of the business. You have a motion and a second on the floor. It is not,
You running the meeting.
it is not what Ms. Perez made the motion.
Now you running the
You
meeting.
already have a motion for this.
You running the
For
meeting?
vote.
Somebody has to.
Okay.
Mayor, wait.
What you mean, somebody, you just got here last week, you don't know what's going on.
Point of order, Mayor, point of order. The first motion was the 2021-28. You asked the question, did he have anything else? He said no at this time. So I think we need to move on with the 2021 and 28.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Let's do that.
Okay,
That's what
Mayor,
we need
there's
to
a
do.
motion and a
That's what we
second on the
said.
floor. You know it. Try not to avoid it. Let the commissioners vote. That's what the people of Pahokee have elected them to do.
That's what you want. That's what you want. We got something for you, we voted them cups, and you ain't got
Call for a vote, we would stop
That's
this.
what we want. How you get to set up there?
This is ridiculous. Call for a vote.
It's ridiculous because y'all can't do your job. That's what's ridiculous. You can't do
Trying
your
to do my
job.
job, Mr. Mayor. Just
No.
call for a vote.
You're a puppet.
He's the problem. He don't talk to people. He ain't got no respect.
Okay, the mayor's refusing to call for the vote. The other commissioners can vote on the motion that's on the floor.
Shut up, let the mayor run the meeting. That's what you need to do. Shut up and let him run.
But there was already a first motion on the floor was to approve it with the 2021-28. That's the first motion that came forth. It was not the second one, so I think we need to move on with the first motion that came on the floor to add 2021-28. That was it. The interim city manager said he would wait on the other ones. I think we need to do the 21-21-28
I believe
and
we
move on.
added that. That's on record. Did
Yes.
we add the resolution?
Yes, that was already added, and now
Yes.
you've got a motion on the floor to add some more stuff.
Okay, we're gonna move with the agenda.
All right, now the rest of the commission needs to exercise your power and just vote on the motion you have on the floor.
You ain't running the meeting. Stop,
I
mister.
vote yes.
I vote yes.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Yes?
You're not
Commissioner
running.
Gonzalez, how do you vote? All right.
Go ahead.
We're not gonna call for a vote.
Mayor, you could always recess the meeting and ask the sheriff's department
If
to
I,
remove the people
if I ask
that
them,
are
if I
not
ask
being
them, it'll be
orderly.
to remove you. Hey, let's have order, please. Let's have order.
Please, stop listening to him. We'll shut up if he shut up for you.
Mayor, are you ready to hear the items?
We're gonna move to our next item on the agenda.
Mayor, they already voted. What are you doing?
Citizen comments.
Okay,
Hello.
Citizen comments.
the next item to be added to the agenda is a discussion
Let him talk.
of the city's insurance
City clerk.
company.
The mayor say citizen comment.
City
The
clerk.
item after that
You oughta-
is the order
You ought-
regarding Perez's attorney fees.
You ought to order, Brandenburg.
Yeah.
City-
The next item is the unauthorized $67,000 check
Don't worry about
to
it.
Chandler Williamson.
Okay, why are we bringing it
Hey.
up? That's the point of the meeting there. This old 3-year-old stuff.
City clerk.
Stuff is settled. Why are we bringing
We
that
at
up?
the point of citizen comment. Could you please call the names of those
We
who
have to have a
have wished to
10:30 meeting
speak?
in the morning. We don't have to.
Mr. Richard Brown.
Bring up.
Mr. Richard
Hey.
Brown. Y'all got the right one,
Tad.
Mr. Richard Brown.
Okay.
I'm ready for you. For these three commissioners that affected, and especially Ms. Perez, who's speaking like she's drunk.
No
Like she's drunk.
no personal type.
This ain't personal.
Okay, I'm
This
just saying,
a
no
fight.
person type.
I'm just saying. And she's speaking like that. Those three, y'all just like Judas. They shouldn't even call y'all commissioners. They should call y'all Judas. Y'all betrayed the people that put y'all in the seat. Y'all betrayed them. And Brandenburg, when I look over there at you, all I see is a pile of manure. And you as an attorney know what a pile of manure is, don't you? All right, so we moving right along. And you ain't got your do nigga here. Crystal, you ain't got your do nigga here. Y'all ain't got your do nigga here. But I'm here to tell her she need to put this on Facebook. Make sure she put this on Facebook. Ain't nothing but a bunch of bobbleheads sitting up there. And you trying to run the meeting, and you don't run nothing. You got your bobblehead over there, the city manager, and he don't know which way is up. I don't know if they fired you before, and you back again, but they gonna get rid of you again, because you know you ain't nothing but a pile of manure. Now you can tell, and then at the last meeting, now you can tell my brother that, since you asked me to tell my brother this and tell my brother, you go tell my brother that you ain't nothing but a pile of manure. So you got that. Last I forgot. And for them that voted, I forgot. Them that voted for y'all three, y'all need these bags. Because you need to put them over your head. I know y'all ashamed. You need to get one of these bags for me and put over your head.
In additional comments, City Clerk.
Mr. Robert Love.
Yeah, for real. I might need some minutes. Me. Everybody say, I know everybody know me. I love y'all. I love folks. What you laughing about, Brandenburg? I know you know me, don't you? You remember me? Okay, here go where I'm gonna start at. 3 minutes. Y'all know why it's 3 minutes up there for you? When I start coming to meetings, you used to talk till you get tired. And after about my 4th meeting, y'all gonna have to give me some minutes now. After about my 4th meeting, I come in the meeting, they say, oh, Robert Love. Keith, no, cause Keith was there 26 years. Keith was sitting up there. He was part of the crew too. Say, oh, Robert Love. You ain't got but 3 minutes. So 6 years, I went to meetings 6 years. Somebody said they didn't know me, they sitting up there. You must be didn't go to meeting. I went to 6 years meeting, 6 years, never missed a meeting in 6 years. And I raised so much sand about the meetings to hit was pathetic. So nobody sitting up in here with the white face to my, oh, I'm prejudiced, because you know what I did? I ran J.P. South against Roy Singletary. Got J.P. South elected. J.P. South would never pull this junk here on me. That's why I had to stay to the meetings. So now when I come up here, and they tell me, oh, it ain't no white and black and this. Y'all telling the biggest lie y'all done ever told when y'all said ain't no white and it ain't no black in this here. Ain't nothing but white people behind what's going on. And what's going on is you trying to perform a coup. See, when you perform a coup, you try to get all the protection you can because you think something's going to happen. But ain't nothing going to happen, but we're going to pray our way out of this, buddy. We're going to pray our way out of this. So like I'm telling the people every day, here's the way we can get rid of this here. That there, people so disgusted, and they know it. That's the bad part about it. They know how disgusted people is with them. I ain't talking about mad with them, because I had to tell the people, let me tell y'all people what happened. God had to do something to wake y'all up. Y'all 62% of this community. I check the census. When I come up here, boy, I have fights. I did it 6 years in a row, and every time I sat there, they had fights. You know why here's a park down there? Because I done said that. Oh, they come in with a $250,000 check. Say, we gonna name this park after Robert Love. I can tell this story over and over and over. And Keith can vouch for it. I think you were sitting in there, Brandenburg. And I told him I don't want no park named after me. Build a park for the kids. When they come up with the middle school, you know who raised hell every day about the middle school? Robert Love, because all of my children were getting pregnant. 13 to 14, going straight from elementary to Pahokee High School. I can get 3 minutes. Who got 3 minutes? That go 3 minutes. That go 3 minutes. But that's what I'm talking about, fighting for. Fighting against this coup. Like I say, when I get the census, it says 62% black in Pahokee, 24% Hispanics. I know 24 and 62. Somebody add that up for me. Somebody add that up for me. Cause when you get through adding that up, I know him about 14% white left. And they counted all of them. They ain't count all the blacks in this town. And here's some blacks, what I'm talking about. We ain't gonna get mad. Y'all been looking for us to come up here and riot and all that. No. Here's a way to do y'all. Let everybody know like they doing on YouTube right now that y'all trying to perform a coup here in Pahokee. And you know who I'm talking about. How you set somebody up to say, oh, I'm the city attorney. Who was the city attorney yesterday? Miss Meeks. Miss Meeks was the city attorney. Against Muriel Perez, who won that case? Who won that case? Shake your head till you get that bobblehead. Like I say, your bobblehead when somebody talking to you would know. Cause like I say, when you go to talk about Pahokee, y'all set up there, y'all fair game for me. Cause when you set up there, I don't care how much friends we is, and everybody can tell you, Keith graduated from the same at Pahokee together, class of 75. When he sat up there, I cut his throat if he wrong. But now he right. And y'all want to come throw some junk about 3 years ago about Keith Bell. While I'm on YouTube, I want to tell y'all, Keith Bell don't need a dime.
Not a dime.
Keith Bell been working 35 years.
Not a dime. Tell it.
2 or 3 jobs. You can't tell me nothing about Keith Bell.
You hear that, Brandenburg?
You might can tell me something about you, because I don't know about you. You ain't why you come running up in here in Pahokee and you ain't even from Pahokee? That's what's wrong with Pahokee. Y'all letting people come up in here, they go, I'm closer. Ain't nobody up there from Pahokee, but Bowden ain't from Pahokee. What in the hell should you tell me about Pahokee? Nothing. And then like I tell y'all, you fair game when you're up there. Y'all know we can be friends if you wanna. When it comes to Pahokee, and you're up there and you're making some decisions I don't like, it ain't no friends. Ain't no shaking hands. Ain't no ha. No, it ain't gonna work with me. I don't know about the other people, but like I say, I come here to tell the people that you trying to perform a coup. Do you know what a coup is? That's a hostile takeover of government. That's what you trying to do in Pahokee, and you ain't even from Pahokee. You, Brandenburg.
And Bab don't need their money.
And that's right, Bab really don't need their money. Bab probably got more money than all them out there together. If I tell you about how Bab got some money, then y'all be in the business some more. Like y'all gonna get into everybody's business in here, I'm telling y'all, be careful. You know how it is with these people. They do anything by any means necessary. They ain't arguing about no taxpayer money. They ain't sitting up there doing what they doing about taxpayers' money. It's something that's on the download, y'all. I got 3 more? Yeah, come on. That's the truth. It's just like I just said. People don't raise this much hell about taxpayers' money. People don't split the town up about taxpayers' money. People won't come tell me, oh, they voted for me. If you heard them now, you won't say they voted for you. You got people so mad at you because they voted for you till it's a shame. I can tell you. No, they don't need no bag. They need to come up here just like I'm doing. Look them dead in the face and say, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted you can't be trusted because I see something that I ain't seen in 65 years in Pahokee. I see a division that's with 14% white. It's a good thing it ain't 62% white. We wouldn't have a chance. So that's what I'm saying. God had to do something to wake us up. Y'all listen to what I'm saying. If Eddie would have ran, if Felicia would have stayed, they'd been still comfortable. You'd have been still comfortable. Because you'd have had the 3-2. So God said, sit down, Felicia. Sit down, Eddie. I don't even need you to run. I need to get some garbage in there so I can wake these people up.
But we won't.
That's what you're going to do. Because God is in charge of this. And nobody can tell me because like I say, I ain't spoke about God in so long it's a shame. It make me want to cry to see this garbage that's going on in my town where I was born and raised, where my grandmama worked her fingers to the bone. And then here you go, you run up in here talking about, you go say something about the mayor. Let me tell you about the mayor. The mayor was elected by the people of the city. You ain't gonna shake your butt up there and tell the mayor he can't do this and he can't do that. Because the people of the city elected the mayor. They ain't elected no vice mayor. The people up there elected vice mayor. When it comes to the mayor, he might not be with 1 vote. But when he elected with that title stand, I don't care where you come from, with that blue ass with that bull ass. I don't care where you come from. People got to understand. He's been there 26 years, like you say. He ain't stolen all them damn years, and now all of a sudden he can steal.
You don't need that money.
You come to steal. You come to steal, because that's why you got all the police in town. I ain't never been to meetings where we have this many police. And I used to go to meetings and raise through hell. And if anybody asking, they'll say, Robert, why there ain't no Pahokee police? So they used to raise so much sand with me, they jumped on me down the street, and next thing you know, they were gone.
Thank you, Mr. Love.
Thank you.
In addition to comment cards, City Clerk.
Mr. Harvey.
Hey, boy, that's gonna be a tough one coming behind Robert Otis Harvey, Pahokee, Florida. My concern is about this chamber. This is to everybody in this room. Now, this chamber here is a place of the representation of the city of Pahokee. And we elect people to be authoritated over everybody that come in here. So, when you come in this place, you don't come in this place with rocks and chips and all kind of stuff on your shoulder. When you walk through them doors right there, you're supposed to leave all that outside. And when you come in here, you're supposed to be honest and pure-hearted to the city of Pahokee. Now, the last meeting that I was in here, I didn't see nothing but pure disrespect. Pure disrespect. And that's wrong. And it hurted me to my heart. And the business that happened last month, everybody up there was here, except for this guy here. I don't know who he is.
Who did the disrespect?
Mr. Brandenburg. He led the city commissioners to follow him. And that's wrong. Because that ain't what they hired him for. And he wasn't even hired. But anyway, the lady had 30-some days or something, y'all. And then next thing I know, Mr. Brandenburg went from disrespecting the city meeting, disrespecting it. The mayor told him to be quiet, asked the police to escort him. Nothing happened. He did everything that he wanted to do, just like he's doing now.
That's right.
And just like I say, in this chamber here, that ain't the way how business is supposed to be handled. I mean, what can I tell my son or my daughter when I go home? What can I tell them about this meeting? What's good about it? What's good about it? And I mean, I got a lot I want to say, but it just got me so much torn apart. But I want to know, do any of y'all know the fact that at the last meeting that what y'all did?
They don't care.
And how y'all did that?
They don't care.
That was wrong?
They don't care.
And I ain't no political man, and I know that much. And then we went all the way from that point to this man here, sitting here. And then they had a private meeting and all that stuff. I come to the meeting, none of y'all show up. Nobody here. They call a 10 o'clock meeting, nobody show up, none of the commissioners.
None of the three. Two.
Well, don't interrupt me.
Two showed up.
None of the city commission come, so now I had to wait all the way to the day to get the chance to ask the questions that I need to know the answers to. And then, Mr. Brandenburg, to you directly, what kind of man is you to come in our town, see, I was born and raised here. I know every building that's been torn down from 1960. And we ain't got one been built in the last 5 years. The newest building that's been built in the city of Pahokee, the Dollar General. That's how much I know about this town. And you disrespected me as a citizen, as a man that's supposed to be representing the law. You should know better. You should know better.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey, for your comments. City, Mr. Brown, please. City Clerk, are there any additional comment cards?
Ms. Allen.
My apologies, Miss Allen. Okay, thank you. She gave up her time. In additional cards.
Ms. Cowan,
Good evening. I have a few questions that's really a concern to me. I've been coming to the meetings. For one, what disappoint me is prior to all of this turmoil taking place, we were able to know when we were going to have meetings because it would be put up on the city website, and per city ordinance, that's what's supposed to happen. But here lately, all meetings, you got to hear about them word of mouth. Yes, I'm here today because the one today, we know regular scheduled meetings are the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. Anything else, citizens are calling me saying, hey, I heard in the community they talking about a meeting. You seen anything up on the website? No. Look up on the website, there's none. Got copies, there's nothing up on the website. There's nothing up on the website. So yes, they've gone and put them all back up there now, citizens. I want you guys to know that. They're backtracking. They've gone, put all these special meetings up. That's okay. I got pictures of it. They were not there. So they put everything up, and if everything that you all have done has been so legal, why are we backtracking now if it's legal? I see on this agenda, they want to approve all these minutes of these special illegal meetings that they've had. If they were legal, why did we have a clerk there and all these special meetings that they've had, why didn't they approve them at those meetings? Why were they not approved then? All of a sudden here tonight, they want to get everything and backtrack and get everything approved. So if it was legal, I still don't understand why we got it on this agenda for tonight. They've had several special meetings. So if they had, I've requested minutes. There are no minutes. The current clerk that we have, yes, I've talked to her, I asked her. Citizens, they've asked her to go back, type up all these meetings, just because they may need them for court. They've asked them to go back, type up the meetings. This is another thing. She quit. She's back on the diocese. The charter says the city attorney and the city manager and the city clerk, they all must come to the city with a resolution. We don't have a resolution for Brandenburg. We don't have a resolution for Tijuana. Interim, we don't need a resolution. But they're all on payroll getting our tax dollars. They're all on payroll. No tax. Now, this is what our charter says this. Our charter says this. How we have a city attorney, he's doing the hiring for the city. They've offered. I'm going to ask a question to each commissioner. My understanding, we'll find out tonight. City clerk has been offered $75,000. Commissioner Mervin, have you talked to the clerk to offer her $75,000?
No, I haven't.
Commissioner Perez, have you talked to the clerk to offer her $75,000?
No comment.
Commissioner Bowling, have you talked to the clerk to offer her $75,000?
No comment.
Mayor Babb, have you talked with the city of Tijuana to offer her $75,000? No. What about you, Commissioner Gonzalez?
No comment.
Okay, so how did the $75,000 come about? How did the $75,000 come about? Now, I thought that the commission are the ones who hires the city clerk. And I have minutes that was yielded to me. That comes to the commission.
Could you identify the person who's yielding?
Mr. Ferguson.
Okay.
$75,000. How did that come about? I thought it was supposed to come before the commissioner. So how has salary been negotiated prior to it even coming before the community to even know? She resigned, and she's Brandenburg. He offered and said if she, at that meeting they had outside, that if she was not going to be the city clerk, he named this lady named Sandy, who is the assistant over at his law firm. He even named Mr. I don't even know his name, from Cloiston, asked Mr. Thompson as our city manager. Mr. Thompson, are you a commissioner for the city of Cloiston?
I am.
And so that is not a conflict of interest based on the statute for you holding two positions in public office. You're able to do that?
In this capacity, yes.
Are you able to do that?
Yes.
You are able to be a commissioner for Clewiston and a city manager for Pahokee.
Are
And
you
that's not a conflict.
Are you saying I can't?
No, I'm asking you.
Yes.
I'm asking you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so he wasn't hired by the commission. He was brought in by our city, well, not my city attorney, because, by Brandenburg. And I'm trying to understand, they changed the locks. We watched them change the locks. These are my tax sales dollars. Now they coming. Everything that they've done now, it's on here. They want to get it paid for tonight. And you're going to tell me the sunshine law hasn't been broken? It's been broken, because how can a vice mayor give authority to change the locks? The vice mayor. So you leave the mayor off the agenda. So what are they doing? They're trying to say, forget the mayor, he don't exist no more. They takes him off the bank statement and put the vice mayor. I don't see anywhere in the charter, it says the mayor has to be incapacitated and just can't do anything. Mayor Bell, can you stand up? Are you incapacitated? So we want to know, how can he be taken off the bank account? He's not incapacitated or dead that I can see. So I'm trying to figure out, how is all of this being taken care of? How is all this being taken care of by someone who's not even been officially hired by this city? Because there is no resolution where he's been hired. There is no resolution where he's been hired. So citizens, we cannot continue to allow this to happen. We cannot continue to allow this to happen. Everything that they've done, they're now trying to backtrack it and make it legal. They're trying to make it legal now. But we didn't have minutes before, because I went to the city hall and asked for minutes. There were no minutes from these meetings. There were no minutes. I went for minutes. There were no minutes, because guess what? We're supposed to know who voted and how they voted. And if you watch those illegal meetings, they didn't even call Commissioner Mervin. They didn't even say Commissioner Mervin. They didn't say absent. Commissioner Mayor Bear didn't even acknowledge them. Didn't even acknowledge them. And I don't think that's right.
That's wrong. That's another thing. You better know what y'all doing. Y'all following and leading y'all to a dry well.
City clerk, do we have any additional comment cards?
Ms. Torres?
That body head like they gonna pray and know they be lying and praying.
Good evening, Luz Torres, 354 Nona Avenue. I'm here today by the request of Brandenburg, because today at 11:45, I submitted in my public comment to the city clerk, and I received an email at 4:31. Per our city attorney, Mr. Brandenburg, comment cards will be available at the meeting for the public to complete and submit. So therefore, I was unable to submit my citizen's comment through email so that it can be read by the city clerk, and that's why I'm here today. So I'm gonna read my comment. On July 19th, there was a special meeting held and recorded. Commissioner Regina Bolin stated at minute 59.21, "Mr. Mayor, are you going to shut them up?" She was referring to the citizens who just witnessed a 3-2 vote to fire the city attorney. She was referring to the citizens in the audience who requested from the very commissioners who called the special meeting to explain their reasoning and rationale for the swift firing of the city attorney. The 3 commissioners, Bolin, Perez, and Gonzalez, who had requested the special meeting, refused to comment. Their inaction speaks volumes alone, and please, citizens, do not take that lightly and do not forget it. On July 27th, a commissioner workshop was held. 17 seconds into this meeting, the city attorney asked that the commissioners that were present give 2 other members of the commission some time to make it to the meeting, just as time has been afforded to them at one point or another when they are running behind or late. Commissioner Bolin stated the following to the city attorney: "Yes, ma'am, I appreciate that, thank you." And then she proceeded to call the meeting to order. Blatant disregard of the remarks made by the acting city attorney. This was immediately followed up by Mr. Brandenburg asking that they escort the active city attorney to be relieved from her duties from the rest of the evening. Later on in this meeting, Mr. Brandenburg was completely rude, out of line, out of order, and disrespectful. I had no time to hear anyone besides the mayor asking that Mr. Brandenburg be removed or escorted. I felt it was an intrusion that he was sitting alongside the acting city attorney and just disrespectful. And I think if he was asked by the mayor, he should have just left, and then as his time is here today, he could have come when it was his time, but it wasn't his time then. I was angered by the non-assistance or the lack thereof of PBSO at the time, as the mayor asked on more than one occasion to please remove someone from the meeting that was out of line and order. Citizens of Pahokee, we should not take those actions lightly, and we must not forget, especially when it is our time to vote. Thank you. And my final comment, I have 20 seconds. You know, I was elated to see a diverse commission sitting above us, in front of us. But I guess what hurts me the most is that some who have voices refuse to use them, and some who are sitting up here that just got in here feel that the 20 years or so of everything that has been accomplished by Mayor Babb is incompetence. And most specifically, Mr. Gonzalez said that on a Facebook post, that the 20 more years of incompetence. And I want him to know that if he were to support his commission and work with the mayor and the mayor's 20-plus years of experience and service, that one day, if Pahokee sees fit, you too can have 20-year tenure, because as of today, I don't see it. Thank you.
In addition to comments, Carl.
Mr. Trotman.
Good evening. Christopher Troutman, 245 Cypress Avenue. Firstly, I just want to say congratulations to Attorney Weeks on winning the 2 lawsuits that the city of Pahokee had pending in court. I'm actually quite sad that I don't see her here on this evening, but I'm sure there's more to that story. Also, while we're on that topic, I had the privilege of being on a court hearing for the Perez versus the City of Pahokee lawsuit, where the judge presiding over that case specifically stated to Mr. Brandenburg that he does not recognize him as the city attorney for the City of Pahokee. So I'm appalled as to why he's still allowed to sit here in this chamber. We talk about, and they have a list going around of city staff that they want to terminate. I see Mr. Alvin Johnson with 30-plus years sitting here in the audience. When the AC was not functioning properly in here, nobody moved except Mr. Johnson. And that's an employee that you want to get rid of. We hired a city manager, or you hired a city manager, and the city manager came to a meeting tonight with a 2-page long agenda, and he wasn't prepared. But we want to get rid of city staff that is probably the most qualified city staff we've had in Pahokee history. And you bring somebody in that can't even add additional items to the agenda for $10,000 when we had somebody here that was doing a very good job. And I also had the opportunity to step outside and speak to Mr. Charles Ray that was sitting here in the audience. He's a part of the Brownsville federal grant program that walked out and was disgusted at even the start of this meeting, and isn't even interested in working with the city of Pahokee anymore. We're not at a point that we can just let money walk out the door.
And get sued at the same time.
This is sad. This is sad. I'm praying for Commissioner Mervin, Mayor Babb, the city clerk, because I'm sure that somebody on this dais with you is COVID-19 positive. You can go back and look at the meeting. They never wear a mask, but all of a sudden now, everybody is masking up. Please protect yourselves. That's all.
He need a mask on. Put a mask on.
Okay.
No, don't put that on. I want him to get going.
Okay. That's the conclusion of the citizen comment. We thank. Okay. Okay.
Come on, Mr. Everett. Just come on.
I think you take the glove out there. We standing for it.
I got it.
I'm allergic to COVID.
and city commissioners. Most of the people here know me not to be one to come up front and to be speaking at these city meetings. Over the past few months, I have never felt so disrespected as a citizen of this city before in my life. We have people that are sitting in office that refuse to answer any questions to the electors that elected them. And it's appalling. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Ms. Bolden, I supported you when you were standing up. Some of the things you had some good ideas. But I'm gonna say this, once you felt like you had the majority, I saw a whole attitude change. And what I mean by that, we elect people to stand up for what's right. And if you're right, I'm 100% behind you. But what I saw happen, when I go back and I look at meetings, on June the 8th, the city was trying to get a contract about the elite track team. You questioned and asked all kind of questions and prolonged the meeting and went on and on about this and that. Okay. On June the 22nd, it was about the city clerk contract and her taking a car home. I don't know if we done changed so many people. I don't know who was the city clerk at the time. I saw you ask questions and continually drag the meeting out. And in some cases, I felt like you was asking some legitimate questions. On July 19th, everything, you was asking questions and trying to get the city attorney fired and all that kind of stuff. Some citizens came up to ask questions. What was the reason? And I do understand in that particular contract, they have a with or without reason clause in there. But that's for the attorney. That's not for the citizen that vote you in. That's not for the citizen that vote you in. And the rest of you, I'm just so appalled tonight when the citizens ask you about the agenda items and the things that go on, nobody had nothing to say. And back to you, Ms. Bolden, all of a sudden, when you get the majority, no question was asked. Y'all start voting on illegal means and having things and coming in here, no questions were asked. We paying out $10,000 a month to somebody we don't know, don't have a clue about what they're doing.
No question. No question. You're right. No question.
And I, as a citizen of this city, have never felt so disrespected before. And those of you that know me, I don't come up here to this meeting. Every occasion I come to a meeting, but I expect the city people that we elect in office to have the best interests of the city at hand. And that don't appears to be the case. People coming up here with their own agendas. And somebody had a quote on Facebook and they was talking about team. Have no problem with the team. But the team players got to get the individual agendas out the way and work for the team of Pahokee. Not for themselves.
You got 3 bobbleheads.
And again, everybody want to throw this black and white thing out. Me too was kind of glad to see the diversity. So everybody in the community can be represented. But that's not the case. Everybody come here with their own agendas, with their own personal needs, their own personal things that they want to get accomplished. You're trying to fire an attorney. I'm suing you on Robert Love, but I'm going to fire your attorney. What sense does that make?
No. When the devil get involved, a lot of things.
That's a direct conflict of interest. And the thing about it, those of you, Ms. Bowen, you are the senior of that 3 that y'all have together. You should have stood up and told them this is not right. We need to at least come to the meetings and try to have the meetings and go through the agenda the correct way and do it. But y'all refuse to do what's right. And the thing about it, what happens, when somebody, their character, when somebody, you will get an opportunity to see somebody's true character in two occasions. When they get power and what they do when nobody else is listening, looking. And that's all I have to say. If I have any minutes, I yield to whoever the next person is.
Thank you. I think that concludes the citizen comments, and we thank you for all of your comments. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. We can quickly, if we want to, take each individual one at a time. The first one is the scheduled special meeting of July the 19th, 2021 minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the City Commission special scheduled meeting July 19, 2021 meeting.
There is a second by Vice Mayor Boland and a proper second by Commissioner Perez for the approval of the July 19, 2021 minutes. Call for questions. Hearing none of you ready for a vote. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez? Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin?
Let's see what meeting this was. Give me 1 second.
You wasn't there.
Yeah, this one we was, July 19th. Yes. I think we was.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Now we have the special scheduled meeting of July 21st, 2021 minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the City Commission special scheduled meeting July 21st, 2021 minutes.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Bolden and properly second by Commissioner Perez. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez? Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Now we have the special meeting of July 23rd, 2021.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the City Commission special scheduled meeting July 23rd, 21 minutes.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Boland and properly second by Commissioner Perez for the approval of the July 23rd, 2021 minutes. Call for questions.
Question, Mayor. How can we approve July 23rd when there is no minutes? There is no minutes.
You're right.
It's in your packet, Mr.
Oh,
Chair.
yeah.
There's it's not a complete minutes at all. It don't show the
It was an
the
agenda,
vote.
but there's no minutes to it.
Yeah, they got some motions and seconds here, but it don't indicate the vote.
No, that's not minutes.
Yeah.
It's not minutes. There's no minutes. Well, let's move on.
These minutes here for the July 23rd meeting appears to be incomplete.
No, the third one is in the packet.
Huh?
It's in the packet.
This is the package. I'm looking
Yeah,
at
it's in
it.
Yeah, look to the third.
Okay, who, on the first item, termination of the city attorney immediately, what's the count? Who voted on what?
It was Perez, Commissioner Perez, Vice Mayor Boland.
Where you
and
see
Commissioner
yes at on those? Give me the yes votes.
Motion carried unanimous. You weren't at that meeting. Everybody
Yeah,
that was there voted yes.
yeah, but it still need to state who's the unanimous voters.
The only three that was present.
This minutes here, were you there? This was a meeting this is the meeting that was called on the outside without a recorder, without public notice.
Mayor, and this is not minutes, these are just the topics that they had to discuss, but there was actually no minutes taken. There was no clerk, there was no city attorney, there was no city manager. So it was just the three commissioners, with just the 3-minute meeting that they had outside on the sidewalk. There was no minutes for this meeting, so I don't think this minutes here.
You also saying you're gonna attest to this. I'm asking, you were there, you saw a recording that you completed the minutes? How did you get the minutes?
Saw it on video.
Huh?
Video, I wasn't there.
Yeah. Okay. At least get us a complete minutes for consideration at this point. These just incomplete minutes. Yeah. Okay, we had a second.
Okay, vote.
And in addition to questions, hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
No.
Mayor Bab,
No.
And Mayor, point of order, let's please make note that we have 3 commissioners that did vote to pass minutes, but no minutes is attached. So I don't know what minutes that they're approving of, because there is no minutes. So we hopefully make that note into the record.
Okay. Okay, the next minutes is the regular scheduled meeting of July 27, 2021.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the City Commission regular scheduled meeting, July 27, 2021 minutes.
Second it.
Know what y'all doing.
There was a second. It has been moved by Vice Mayor Bolden and properly second by Commissioner Perez. Call for questions.
Question again, Mayor. Also, on July 27th, there was no minutes at that meeting also. So there was no city clerk here. So there was no minute. I think that's the meeting that was canceled earlier. So there was actually no minutes. We have no minutes to approve.
In addition to questions, hearing none, are you ready?
It's July 27th.
Yeah.
Doesn't it show that you guys were present?
But there's no minutes to approve. What are you proving?
What they want.
You can't. What are you? Did you read July 27th? Cause look, this all you got. So where's the minutes?
You approving what they want.
That's what I'm saying. There is no minutes. So you can't say you read it because there's no minutes. So you can't approve it. Maybe she could bring it back, but you can't prove this. At what minutes you approving if there's no minutes?
There was one item on the agenda. The agenda on its face shows who voted for what.
No, it doesn't. That was actually the meeting that was canceled in the middle of the eruption that went on. So actually, the meeting had ended. So the meeting was not completed.
Yeah,
so
this-
actually, there is no minutes to this meeting.
This particular one says that it was motioned by Commissioner Perez and second by Vice Mayor Bolden. Motion carries. Don't record the vote in that.
That was the meeting that Mr. Brandenburg was over talking the city attorney, but actually we didn't never pass the millage rate in that meeting. And the meeting you had canceled the meeting, but still, even if so, what are you reading? Even there was minutes, where's the minutes? You can't prove something that's not there.
Mayor, would you prefer not to have had approved the trim notice? Because you were concerned that was going to cost the city some $600,000.
Well,
These minutes verify that the trim notice was approved.
It wasn't approved that night. We didn't get to it. That's the one that the city manager was pleading that we can get to. We had called 2 previous special meetings
Mayor, you got
to
to take
approve it.
responsibility for $600,000 loss to the city.
No, you have to take responsibility in that because you disrupted the meeting. Let's be in order.
And point of order with that, Mayor, Mr. Brandenburg, you advised the three commissioners not to show up to do the millage rate. Because the millage rate did call that next morning at the same time they're trying to schedule a meeting now at 10 a.m. They never showed up to pass the millage rate. So it's not that we not wanting to pass the millage rate, it was, they called to pass, they could have came and just passed the millage rate and left.
I'm afraid you're
But
confused
you
on that,
advised
Commissioner.
them not to show up to the meeting.
Mr. Chair, point of privilege.
In addition to questions.
Point of privilege, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Was that approved after the video stopped?
I don't know if it was illegal. The meeting was adjourned. I don't know what happened after the video stopped. That's
I
a
wasn't
secret
there.
meeting if it happened after.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah, I don't know. I assume maybe that was Mr. Brandenburg may be able to answer that. Because of the disruption in the hall, we adjourned the meeting. We was asked to leave. Everybody was asked to leave. I think Brandenburg asked a certain group to remain, and I'm not sure what happened after that. But anyway, we have a motion and a second. To me, it's incomplete minutes, but the motion has been made and second. In addition to questions. Hearing none, you ready for a vote?
What happened? I didn't hear him say roll. You said call the roll? Vice Mayor Boland?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin?
No.
Mayor Bab?
No. Okay, the next minutes is a special meeting for the July 28th, 2001, 21 minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the City Commission special schedule meeting July 28, 2021 minutes.
It is moved by Vice Mayor Bowden and properly second by Commissioner Perez. Call for questions.
Question on that one, Mayor. Those were legitimate meetings. Those are the meetings that we had called to pass the millage rate. But Mayor, as you see that we didn't have a quorum. So again, there's still no minutes for that either.
That is minutes. You didn't have a quorum, the meeting was adjourned.
The meeting was, yeah, they had to roll
So-
it down out. This is the meeting that they should have showed up to pass the millage rate.
So why you saying there's no minutes? The minutes are there. There was no meeting. It was adjourned.
Okay, well,
So it's just
we'll pass that then. There was a meeting. It was a legitimate meeting, though, it was.
Yeah, there was an attempt, an effort to have a meeting. In addition to questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Now we'll move to the July 29th, 2021 minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we pass the City Commission special scheduled meeting July 29, 2021 minutes.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Bowden and properly second by Commissioner Perez for the adoption of the July 29th, 2021 minutes. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez? Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Again, this was just an attempt to have a special meeting that we didn't have a quorum. Okay, we'll move to the consent agenda items. We don't have any consent items. I lost my- We have one ordinance, first reading, public hearing. We'll have our city attorney read this into the minutes.
Mr. Chair, point of privilege, if, I recommend we put in the resolution 2021-28 right before this, but of course at your pleasure.
The resolution before this, we're going by the order of the agenda. The ordinance come first and resolution second. Why would the resolution need to be first?
It was an addition. Proceed.
Yeah, we'll put it on the, actually, the next resolution. That would be the second resolution we would read.
Commissioners, this is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, modifying Article 2, Section 2-26, City Commission meetings. Generally, compensation, expenses, allowances for City Commission, attendance at meetings by telephone or other electronic means, order of business, City Commissioner votes recorded on ordinance and resolutions, order votes required to pass resolutions, clerk designated custodian duties, removing or withholding from custodian, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, providing for inclusion in the code of ordinances, providing for an effective date.
I have a question.
Yes.
You're reading 1902?
Ordinance, this is an ordinance that replaces 2019-02 and removes a lot of the provisions and leaves in place necessary provisions for the city to conduct its business in an orderly fashion.
So in other words, we'll be able to answer the audience now whenever they ask questions and not be chastised when they come here and they say that they're asking us questions but we refuse to answer. Because had they read 2019-02, which we have been trying to take out of the existence since we first got elected, they would know why we did not have an answer for the questions that you had when you came and asked us.
Could you?
None of us up here are refusing to give you an answer. We have a gag order according to this 2019-02, which we have tried, me personally, since I got elected, have been trying to get it off the records because I believe that you guys have the right to come in here and ask of us whatever you want to ask, and if we have the answer for us to give it to you. This is the reason why you did not get an answer. Thank you.
Commissioner Perez, could you read that section that disallows answering of a question?
I don't have 2019-02.
Could anybody read that? Because I never saw it. I think.
Yes, it is.
Mayor, as you may recall, the city...
Could you read it?
Read it out. Read on it. Just read
Well,
it.
okay, if you could be quiet for a minute, I could answer your question.
Read it. Read it.
Okay, so I don't have it because the mayor, the former city attorney, and their commission never had the Muni Code updated for the last 3 years. So that ordinance isn't even available to the public.
Yes, they had it. Yes, they had it.
I'll speak on behalf of the commission. I don't recall the ordinance that disallows a commission from answering a question from the public. What we have done in the past,
It said that
it's
only
normally-
you could answer, and only if you wanted to.
yes, that's absolutely.
So you didn't want to.
It's nothing
He
preventing.
was the only one
No.
allowed, and only
No.
if he wanted to.
Absolutely
You
not.
hear what I'm saying?
You don't know the order.
Tad,
Oh, shut up.
that ordinance,
So ignorant.
any commission have the right to answer a question if they desire. Normally, in particular, We try not to because it's time consuming, but they have the right to do that, any commissioner. I won't stop any commissioner who's been asked a direct question to answer anything they've been asked. It's their choice. And again, and under the comments, I think we had an excellent ordinance in place. It gave us structure. Before that, these meetings, and it still had some of that in there, but it was chaotic. Wasn't any real order. It gave the residents an opportunity to speak first, so those who wanted to talk could give their comment and leave if they so choose to. It was a great ordinance. Most cities have that. We're now proposing almost a free fall to allow the commission and to allow no order in this. It even takes out the mayor comment again. It's tried to restrict the ability of our individual commissioners for doing what they need to do. So I personally think this is a terrible ordinance. It's a bad ordinance, and that's my personal feeling. Any additional comments on the ordinance? At this time, I will open the floor for public comments on this ordinance.
You know I'm up here.
State your name and your address.
I'm Richard Brown, 303 Carissa Drive. And all of this, what's going on here, is coming from Brandenburg. You got 3 bobbleheads sitting up there, can't think, won't do nothing, half sleep, half drunk, and all they doing is doing just what he say do. That's all this is. This is a puppet. And we elected these guys. And they told us, say, well, we gonna do this. If I get elected, we gonna do that. And just as soon as daybreak, they switched out on them. You switched out, and I don't know where he come from. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Now y'all want to change it where we can't even talk. That's what you want. Want it where we can't even ask you a question. I asked you a question one time in the supermarket. You know, I can't do for section 294, and you ain't even know what you were talking about, but you hollered out some numbers, and I went right along with it. I said, where this come from? Y'all ought to be ashamed. You know you did. Wait a minute, don't even say ignorant. Don't use that word ignorant. Don't use that word ignorant. Don't use that word ignorant. Because you sitting up there half drunk, half asleep.
Ignorant.
You that part of manure.
Good evening, Commissioners. I want to speak on behalf of Ordinance 209-02. I'm just asking, and I know I'm a citizen, and I will hope that, you know, we can get respect and gain respect back from you all, that you can gain our respect. But I'm just asking you, please do not get rid of this ordinance because it gives us structure. You know, I don't want to sit in commissioner meetings all night. I do want to come to my commissioner meetings. I do think we need structure. I do think that our commissioners should be held accountable for, you know, because they was elected by the citizens. And I'm asking, I know you guys probably meet and discuss, but I'm asking if you guys can at some point start taking the citizens into consideration. We're asking you to let us keep structure in our city. Everybody's watching us. We don't want to be here all night and nobody you know, wants to come to meetings and we're going back and forth. So I'm just asking if you all would vote to keep this ordinance and not to get rid of the ordinance so that we can have some structure in our city. Thanks.
Well said, well spoken.
Hello, my name is Darrell Newkirk. I'm a citizen of Pahokee. I was born here 55 years ago. And I think there should be a way that a pointed short question be asked of a commissioner. I mean, you might not want to go around the room and have a back and forth, but there's a lot of things that are going on in the city the commissioners might not know. So, just to bring it to your attention or whatever, we want to know what your viewpoint or which way you're going on it. Because these people are, like they said, we're voting for you or against you, but we need to know where you are. And if you're going to be heated and you're going to be, out there, you just make people that's not really interested, and they come alive. Because I've never been to a meeting until I seen on YouTube what was going on here. So, yeah, I think you should make it so that you respond to what's going on. If someone have a concern and they address it to a commissioner, yes, let us know what you think, because we want to know who you are. And who you are is how you vote.
Good evening. I stand in support for Ordinance 2019-202. I just have one statement. Regardless of who voted for who, or who voted against someone, I feel that each of you sitting on our dais is here for the citizens of Pahokee and should be sitting there to do the business of the city of Pahokee. And it is, and if you're not about the business of the city of Pahokee, I would respectfully ask you to recuse yourself. But since I know you're not, I just want to tell you, I am so disappointed in this commission. Not the entire commission, I'll just say the vast majority. It is so sad that 3 of you, and I'm gonna call you by name, Ms. Perez, Commissioner Perez, Commissioner Boland, and Commissioner Gonzalez. It is so sad that you all sit here in unison, and when people come up, and I heard you, Ms. Perez, when you said there's a gag order. I don't know about a gag order, and I have to believe someone's right. You are either Mayor Babb. But when you sit here, and when people get up to speak, neither of you have a comment. And I find it funny that Ms. Boland, both you and Gonzalez, always ask questions when it pertains to money that the city has to pay out to people. But Mr. Brandenburg can come here and say, we're hiring an interim city manager for $10,000, and not one person utters a word to question the amount that we're paying someone with, and not even ask for his qualifications. We know nothing. So we hired a firm to come in and do the business for the city. They recommended Mr. Lewis. You all voted for Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lucas. Mr. Lucas is no longer with us, unfortunately. But, Mr. Thompson, I say you probably need to go back and read the federal guidelines for holding 2 seats as a dual commission meter or charter member. I think you're out of violation, and one of these seats you would be mandatorily just out of it. If you love the city of Clewiston, go back there. Don't come into this foolishness, because that's all it is right now, foolishness.
Any other comments from the audience? Hearing none, we will close our public hearing.
What about the resolution?
We're going to move that. It'll take a motion and a second and a majority vote to move it to the next stage, which would be the second reading. So I entertain a motion pertaining to the resolution.
Mr. Mayor,
The ordinance, I'm sorry, it's an ordinance, not a resolution.
I make a motion that we approve the modification to Ordinance 2019-02.
I second it.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Bolden and properly second by Commissioner Perez to move Ordinance 1902. Call for questions.
Question, Mayor. You know, it's really sad. At all these years that you've had your rules of procedure, and it always was report of the mayor on this, on your agenda. It's in your code of ordinance. It's always been there. And to have Juan, Regina, Sarah, you know that's really sad when y'all vote to try to silence the mayor of the city. No other city in the 39 municipalities in Palm Beach County has off their agenda the report of the mayor. That is really sad. And only for what?
Yeah, but they're gonna report.
Mr. Brandenburg knows it's wrong. For the 13 years he been here, it's been the report of the mayor on there. He knows that. Tonight, he come bringing these 800 pages of all this 3-year-old stuff that he want to talk about that been closed. And y'all want to sit here all night to discuss this stuff, bring up the stuff by Chandler, which he's gone. You won. Give yourself a clap on that part. Okay, he's gone. But when are we going to let that go and move on to the business, really, of the city of Pahokee? You have projects that's about to lose its funding because of this foolishness. You have even in here where they try to do another RFQ to get rid of the engineer, who's also is the one that constructed Barfield Highway. Come on, guys. Do your job and do your job right. Mr. Brandenburg is here for 13 years. Now, the same people that were backing Mr. Brandenburg right now, it's the same ones that called and say y'all need to get rid of Mr. Brandenburg due to the fact he has done nothing for the city of Pahokee in 13 years. Now, that's what was said. Now, the same one, Regina Bowling was in those meetings too. But the thing about let's do our job and let's do our jobs right. There's no way in the world that y'all would take off the Silence of America, Mr. Brandenburg Act. For what reason? But yet you want to continue to have the talk of the attorney. For what? The attorney is only in your meetings for legal and sufficiency. That's it. Other than that, he's quiet. That's it. That's all the attorney is for. Y'all sat here. Y'all even approved him of another $1,000 a month, making the first of the. Then you want to bring up the check. I hear what he fit about to bring up. The check by paying Mr. Williamson out. Did you read the contract that he got you guys signed? That even if he get terminated, that he want his money immediately upon termination. Right. So if you can pay him, why can't you pay someone else out? Right. It's in their contract. That's right. So let's be honest. Let's do our job. Yeah, I don't know what agenda y'all have, what the hidden thing you're trying to approve, but we need to do for the business of the city of Pahokee. It's disgusting now. That's right. It's really disgusting. Y'all sit up here with this stuff, and I'm talking. I have no limits per my ordinance. Per my ordinance, I don't have a limit. Yeah, let me finish. Here y'all come with all this corruption stuff. You ain't found the corruption yet. You don't got to you three. Ask Mr. Lucas to pull the stuff from the IG. He did that. He gave y'all the report from that. He asked y'all you asked him to send it to the state attorney's office. You got the report back for that. Nothing, no charges on that. When are we going to let it go and move on for the citizens of Pahokee? Let it go. Let it go. He want to bring up the whole IG reports 3 years ago. That's closed. Ain't nothing else going. They told you that.
It's them three.
Let's move on. Let's move to the city of Pahokee. Let's move what is really for the cities of Pahokee. Because this is not it. This is not it. Y'all know it's not it. To be honest. Sarah, you the least one to sit up here and say corruption.
She drunk.
You the least one.
Yeah. Are you done now?
You the least one.
First of all, I think you guys are giving Chandler Williams.
It ain't about Chandler.
Way too much.
It ain't about Chandler. It ain't about Chandler no more. He's gone.
Way too much confidence.
It ain't about Chandler. I don't have to see. I have a husband that I've been married for 21 years.
Williamson was not the
I have a husband that I have married 21 years.
He was not the only one that did this, okay? He had the help of 4 commissioners that were 4 to 1 on all of it, plus the city attorney that you had here.
Tell me what happened since you've been here.
The city spoke.
Tell me
the
what.
city
And listen to him
they
now.
voted. They wanted the corruption out.
Listen to him now.
They wanted the corruption
Now
out.
they want you out.
None of the people that are here voted for us. None of the people here voted for us.
Now they want
the
you
ones
out.
that voted for us still support
No,
us.
they don't.
Because we're doing what we promised and what we said we were going to do. And it was get rid of the corruption.
No, they don't.
Chandler Williams
don't.
doing this all by himself, honey.
Mayor, can we have a vote on the ordinance, please?
It ain't about Chandler.
Chastising other people.
It ain't about Chandler. Sam, go back to the hole where you was.
The ordinance,
To the corruption that you are.
the current ordinance, I see no
Business is corruption.
issues or problems with it. And it can be modified. Even when Weeks brought it up, she's asked the commission, or anything in there that you want to adjust and modify. If Perez feels that she can't speak and answer a question, that can be modified. It's clearly don't state you can't, but if she feels that language needs to be a little more clearer, we can do that. We had an individual say that was the most evil ordinance he ever saw. I asked him to read this particular ordinance that's being presented to us. It's one of the worst that I've seen. You know, it's a dictated ordinance. Don't give you the freedom and flexibility to run your meetings in an orderly and decent manner.
That's Brandenburg trying to shut you down. Get the power.
Okay. We've had an opportunity, or there.
Mr. Brandenburg, but let me ask Mr. Brandenburg, 13 years, why wasn't a problem before? You sat there 13 years and
You didn't adopt that ordinance until after I left, you may recall.
Okay, whenever you was there. It was there.
When I was there, you didn't have 21902.
I'm saying,
Okay.
listen to what I'm saying, Mr. Brandenburg. You want to take off the mayor, report of the mayor. That's what I'm asking you.
The mayor can talk just like
I
any
know he
one
can
of
because
you can under your commission
No.
comments.
He's not just a committee, he
I'd
is
like
the
to
mayor.
make a comment, Commissioner Irvin, please. If I could
Mr.
just,
Vice Mayor Bowden.
thank you. For as many years as I've been in town, we did not have 2019-02, and the meetings ran just fine.
No, they didn't.
I believe that by us modifying and doing away with this ordinance, that the meetings will run just fine again. And no matter what anybody here says or doesn't say, that ordinance said we could not talk unless the mayor was allowed, let us talk. That's not the way it's supposed to be. If
Have you ever read
you've
it?
never read it, I'm speaking, please. If
But you're speaking a lie.
this,
You're speaking a lie.
it doesn't matter
Let us
what,
speak.
it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, this is a bad ordinance. It was a bad ordinance from the get-go. It was 13 pages that ruined this city. It kept us from talking to you. And that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk to you guys, to understand what you want, to answer your questions. And that's why I believe that this
Yeah,
is
that's all you
my,
need to do.
this is my opinion.
I'm sort of destroying it.
This is my opinion, that this ordinance is a bad ordinance, and that by removing it and going back to the way things were, we will get much more accomplished in a much more
Okay.
Mayor, the
better
only thing
way.
was, let me say one thing, the only thing was that Commissioner Bowden is talking about when he says that it had to point to the mayor. If you read your Robert Rules of Order, your Robert Rules of Order tells you to address the chair first. And Chair, can I answer that question from a citizen? That's your Robert Rules of Order.
But they don't know that. They don't know that. Them three bobbleheads don't know.
Again, the key statement is, if you did want it to go back to the regular ordinance, that's fine too. But what he's presenting is a major deviation from the original charter order.
Know what's being
Yeah, no.
presented.
What he's want to change, do y'all have a copy in front of you all?
No. They just going by Brandenburg words. They just going by Brandenburg words.
Yes, there's a copy in the backup, and yes, any citizen can have a copy of it.
The commissioners don't have it, they just bobbleheads.
Don't nobody have it but him.
Since it's a first hearing and this is public input, would you mind just reading the information for the public? What's
No,
gonna be in there?
it's several pages long. I'm not going to read it. Like you said, it is the first reading, Mayor, and it can be modified. Anyone who wants a copy of it can get it. And of course, it was in your backup if you chose to read it.
But they want them to vote on it. They want them to vote on it tonight.
It's only the first reading.
Okay.
Them three bobbleheads.
The public hearing was closed. We have a second and a motion on the floor. Hearing no additional questions, are you ready for a vote?
Watch them bobbleheads.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Mervin, Mayor Bab,
No. Motion passes by a 3-2 majority. We'll have a second reading at our next commission meeting. And you would also have an opportunity to speak out on that.
Yeah, they voted them in. I didn't need one of them bags.
Now we'll move to the resolution. We have Resolution 2021-17. City Attorney, could you read that into the record?
Yes, Mayor. Resolution number 2021-17 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city manager to execute a community development block grant agreement for fiscal year 21-22 between the City of Pahokee and Palm Beach County for funding of code enforcement services, attached hereto as Exhibit A, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation of Resolution 2021-17?
The code enforcement is partially paid by a CDBG grant, and this would secure it for the next coming fiscal year.
This will be a full-time code enforcer?
She would stay the same she is now.
City Commissioners, having had Resolution 2021-17 read into our minutes by our City Attorney and properly given an explanation by the interim City Manager, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to pass Resolution 2021-17.
Second it.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Bolden and properly second by Commissioner Gonzalez for the passing of Resolution 2021-17. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez, Mayor Bab,
Yes. Now we'll move to our next resolution, which was added on to our agenda. The resolution is 2021-28. City Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, this is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, authorizing the city manager to execute an annual service agreement with PC Network Solutions, Exhibit A, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation of Resolution 2021-28?
This is to secure a new company for provide business technology and consulting. It's our IT, and secure them for the next 12 months.
We're going to ask those questions during the question period. It's been moved in second and properly explained, properly read into the minutes. Call for questions now.
Question. That's one of my questions. Did this go out for RFP, and what happened to the IT that we had, Mr. City Manager?
We had an emergency situation where we had to hire this company to get into our own systems and make payroll and everything else. The prior company would not release the information. I'm trying to give an explanation.
Is there RFP sent out for this? Because I know how Commissioner Bono always would say is RFP. Is there RFP sent out for this?
Not to my knowledge, this was in a very extreme situation where we had to get back in our own computer system.
But I still think
The city.
you do our-
Without it,
Brandenburg, I was here.
sir, without it, the city couldn't conduct business.
Yeah, but he ain't supposed to.
Couldn't.
He ain't supposed to.
Couldn't conduct the business for you, not Mr. Brandenburg,
Yeah, but he
for you.
did it. He the one did it. I was here.
My question would be, how much is the new provider, what's his contract cost?
It's on the extension. It gives a list of your hours, how much per hour, how much call, how much per call, how much per hour. It's listed in the agreement.
Yeah, could.
Is there, can I get a copy? I didn't get a copy.
Exhibit A, Mr. Chair.
Orders.
It's the attachment to it,
I
Mr.
didn't
Chair.
get a copy.
I will say this, the former IT was cooperating with Mr. Brandenburg to provide the information, but what I learned, Mr. Brandenburg was so rude to this individual, he refused to move forward. He asked for a simple resolution to confirm that Mr. Brandenburg was indeed the city attorney or / city manager, whatever role he was playing during that time. And the guy kind of just walked back and just asked for that. I mean, he was so demanding. And then he come in a meeting and accused me of having the information, which I have told him several times. I don't have any information from Mark, not through email or physical transaction from me to him. Not one item. Not one item. He consistently asking and then threatened to sue me for not turning it over and mentioned if I destroy city property. I have no reason not to provide that information if I had it to the city clerk. Now, I will say this. Looking at those emails, Mark did state that he turned over the information to the city manager. I'm going to say to the city mayor. I haven't received one information from him. I think I'll be able to get it at some point, and hopefully sooner than later, but I don't have anything, have no knowledge of what need to be turned over to the clerk other than what was on those emails. No knowledge at all.
Well, Mayor, it's costing the city $20,000
That's your
because
fault.
we don't have those
If you'd
codes.
have been,
So if you were able
It's
to
a-
get it, it would have been a good thing for you to
If
have gotten it for us
Okay.
a week and a half ago, wouldn't it?
No, let him talk. If you was more professional and treated the IT with a little courtesy, you would have been able to get it.
Mayor,
And then
that's
on
not
top
true.
of that,
All
he-
that's not true. None of it.
okay,
And I have
why he didn't provide it to you?
Okay, so I asked him for it. He wouldn't provide it to
Why?
me. He asked me.
Why? Let him speak. Let him speak.
Okay, so he asked me to get him something for authority. He asked me specifically to have the clerk ask him for it. I did. The clerk asked him for it. He then said that wasn't sufficient. And then afterwards, he quit. Then afterwards, he sent me an email saying he had sent them to you and the city clerk. However, he didn't give the city clerk the passcodes so she could access it. So, Mayor, by you not asking him in a polite manner a week ago, you have cost the city
No, you have caused
$20,000.
your demeanor has caused the city that. And basically, it should come out of your check.
We got all the correspondence and emails, and I'll be happy to give them to you, Mayor, so you can revise your statement at the next meeting.
I don't have to revise my statement.
Mr. Chair, point of privilege. I had no previous experience or knowledge of that. The reason why it was an emergency is because of the laws governing public records. They had to come in and secure emails to make sure they didn't get deleted somehow or lost. So that was the reason it was such an emergency when I came in.
All I'm saying, we got a city attorney accusing folks of doing things unethical, not professional, but then on the other hand, he wants some assistance from you. And again, even with all of that, I don't mind giving it to the city, but I do not have it. And that statement won't change.
Well, you could have asked for it. You just told the audience here that you could have politely asked for it and gotten it from Mark.
I say you could have politely, not me. You had the first contact with him. He would have gave it to you.
Okay, my memory must be failing me from 3 minutes ago.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I thought that a long time ago. I'm glad you concluded. Hey. All right.
Really? You can throw your hand up, really? Get them on our phone. Think about that.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, are we ready for a vote? Hey.
God damn, you gonna let that happen? Racial issues.
You go out and go for a minute. You got that redneck?
There you go, 3 times racial issues.
You know I don't see.
No additional question. Are you ready for a vote?
Gotta be careful.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
It was never motioned and second. You guys went into a discussion. There was no motion or second. You went into a discussion.
Okay. Okay, we'll entertain a motion, one way or the other on resolution 2021-28.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we pass resolution 2021-28.
Second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Boland and properly second by Commissioner Perez for the adoption of resolution 2021-28. Call for question. Hearing none. Are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin?
No.
Mayor Bab?
No. Motion passed by a majority 3-2 vote. Now we will move to other agenda items. Discussion regarding 115 East Main Street. City Manager.
Mr. Chair, I have no history with these issues, and I want to refer to council.
Mr. Mayor, as you well know, the roof has caved in on 115 East Main Street. The building really should be condemned. So I'm recommending that you close that building and change the locks on all the doors.
Have you had a inspector to do that and give you an assessment of that building? I know our commission office is in there. I don't see any leaks or any problem with that building.
You've been in the office next door with the roof caved in. Okay, so don't try to fool anybody, please. It's beneath you to suggest otherwise.
Not true.
Well, Mayor, actually, the whole building roof is not caved in. I think the only real bad side is the commission chamber side that was condemned. So I think that's very inconsiderate of Mr. Brandenburg, how you said that, which is very unprofessional. But I do believe, I think the whole building there should be condemned. Condemn it. They had to keep chamber out of it. Condemn it.
I'm not in favor of condemning it till I see some type of architecture report or some type of engineer to look at it. That's my point of view.
I'll work at the pleasure of the commission.
Would I make a motion in that we have the interim city manager look into having a inspector go into the building to give them?
A recommendation, yeah.
Recommendation.
I second it.
It has been moved by Commissioner Mervin and properly second by Commissioner Gonzalez that we have our interim city manager have a inspection of the building by a licensed inspector to give us a recommendation whether that building needs to be condemned or can it be rehabbed. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Murphy?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Boland?
Yes?
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes, motion passed by unanimous vote. Now we move to discussion of the reimbursement of the city for the cost of the city sending employees home for the 3 days. City manager.
I'm going to refer the next items because of lack of history for the rest of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, as you well know, you have adopted 3 so-called states of emergency.
They're not so-called, they're part of the ordinance, and I have that
Which are
responsibility.
invalid on their face. For instance, tonight you declared an emergency, yet you've come here to chair this meeting. The same thing happened on the first one. There was no issues in the city of Pahokee. All the children went to school. But what you did do is you caused all the city employees to stay home for 3 days. So this discussion is a discussion whether or not the rest of the city commission would like to hold you responsible for the cost of city employees taking 3 days off unauthorized by the city council at your direction.
The city employees, if they took any time, and not all of them did, a lot of them worked even at home, but a majority of them worked here at the city, Parks and Recs and other locations, and that was the interim city manager call. I don't direct staff to give days off or do anything. That was in his preview. If you read the ordinance, he has that decision to conduct business on a limited basis to make sure the essential function of this city was carried out. For you to insinuate that I should be responsible as the mayor, I don't even see how you practicing law. I really don't. To make these type of recommendations to this commission, you're furthering dividing this community, and you well know what you're doing. But that's your opinion, that's your comment, but I don't think it has any credibility, not 1 ounce of credibility.
But them 3 gonna go along with it. No, we gonna pay them people, we gonna go along.
They got paid.
3 gonna go along with it. Already been paid. In the meeting, though, Mr. Vandenberg gonna with our city attorney. They filed the lady.
Yeah, he want to charge the interim city manager for that. Yeah.
You need to get out there. You ain't no trouble, man. There's a whole bunch of trouble for this town. That's all.
Any movement on that, or any suggestion?
But them 3 will tell you.
I believe that if we had a state of emergency and there was no state of emergency, then somebody is ultimately responsible for these people and their pay.
There was absolutely a valid reason for the state of emergency declaration by the mayor. I have that authority. It is my job and my duty to protect this community life and safety. We had heightened tension in this community. Even when we had the town hall meeting, we had threats of shooting possibly. I didn't want to interrupt the meeting, but I had to inform our residents of that possibility. There have been numerous tension on Facebook. Even in this last meeting, when Brandenburg got out of control.
They wasn't moving like.
Even law enforcement suggested that I end the meeting because of the tension in this community. There are many state of emergency. Palm Beach County have enacted one. West Palm have enacted one. We need one even for the COVID situation that we're dealing with. That's my call. The attorney at that time looked at the situation, analyzed it, and made sure we was in proper order, following Florida statutes and our own court of ordinance. And I have that
Mayor, you
ability.
just approved the minutes saying that she was not your city attorney at that time.
No, we
What
didn't.
I was.
No, we
And
didn't.
you never asked me
No,
for a single bit of advice on it.
that's not true.
She wasn't suspended immediately. She had a 90-day clause on her contract.
Mayor.
Legally and technically, she is still the city attorney.
Mayor, you're so wrong.
No,
So-
you're wrong.
No.
Even the judge had asked you to be quiet. He put you on mute because you was disrupting that proceeding.
Okay,
He
Mayor.
told you on record,
And he got his personal.
far as his knowledge is concerned, she is and was the attorney on record.
Okay, Mayor. So, anytime a client does not want an attorney, they can fire the attorney. That's a done deal. Okay, at that point, now you look to see whether or not the contractual relationship between the attorney and the client requires the client to make additional payments. That was the only issue remaining with Ms. Weeks. Any interpretation other than that is contrary to the very basic principles of the rules of professional responsibility and the rules of the Supreme Court of this state.
Next item on the agenda.
Mayor, may I have a question?
Item
Point of
C. Discussion regarding reimbursement for the city cost of relocking all city facilities. Who you gonna put that responsibility on?
Well, it's very simple, Mayor. The rightful management of the city asked the former manager for the keys to the city hall. Not only did the manager not give us the keys to the city hall, he went about and made sure that every office inside the city hall was locked, and he had those keys with him. I asked him to give us those keys, and that if he didn't give them
There go
those
those
back,
threats again.
that I would ask the commission, I would ask the commission to hold him responsible for doing it. A day later, or 2 days later, he showed up and gave the vice mayor the keys to his vehicle. Because if he hadn't have done that, we would have had to have the vehicle towed and rekeyed. All of the cost of that should not be borne by the citizens of Pahokee.
Let me ask you something. When you have a city manager leave and he has keys, even if he turned in those keys, what did you do? What do we normally do? We change the locks on, we change the locks on the doors. That's part of our responsibility, so.
Okay, so you
even
think
if
it was okay to lock the city government
Even if
out
he-
of City Hall so that we had to call a locksmith up here to
You're gonna
rekey it? Do you
gonna
recall that?
You're gonna do that anyway.
Mayor Bell, point of
Oh,
order.
so we were just going to leave the city employees outstanding outside in the sun while someone came in from Belle Glade to rekey it? You think that was an appropriate act for the mayor and the manager to
Now you're
take in
saying
the
the
city?
mayor, now you're adding the mayor in there. You're such a vindictive person. You a disgruntled
Mayor,
ex-employee.
you were talking to him and telling him what to do.
I have never told anybody what to do.
Oh, please.
Mayor Bab, question. First of all, I don't think Mr. Brenner had the authority to even change the laws, because if you can remember, we do not even consider those meetings that we have was legal meetings, first of all, or those votes. So the votes are valid, or not valid for when they even put Mr. Brandenburg as the city, at that time, city manager. Because if you can remember, it's still in the courts. So the judge himself said that they would judge, they would make a decision. So right now, Mr. Brandenburg actually is not the real city attorney. He's actually not the real city because it's sitting in the courts right now. The judge himself said he will make that decision.
Commissioner,
So, wait a minute,
the
Mr.
commission
Brandenburg.
just approved the minutes.
No, I did not approve it. These three approved the minutes.
Yes, the commission.
These three.
That's right,
But
the majority of the commission.
These three approved it. These three.
Let me ask one question. Did you give any commissioner keys?
No, absolutely not. And commissioners should not have keys to the city hall. They should not be first of all, put in the position of something disappearing from City Hall at any time and being suspected of it. Your city manager and the team of the city should be the only ones that have keys to the City Hall. I don't have a key to the City Hall. I don't want one. When I was city manager, for the very brief time I was, which, by the way, I never wanted to be.
You just have it the time you was, though. Like a hurricane.
Okay.
Y'all ought to move him out of that chair now.
Okay.
So, Mayor, I would recommend that we hold the former city manager responsible for the cost of rekeying the entire City Hall.
What you're planning on doing is getting this city sued all kind of ways. You refuse to pay the city attorney her pay. You refuse to pay the city interim city past former interim city manager his pay. You're trying to assess costs on myself. I mean, you just a loose cannon.
Okay, Mayor, if you had read my contract, you would see that my fee is a monthly fee. It doesn't matter if 100 people sue the city or none. It doesn't cost the city one dime.
It costs you, we're paying you over $1,000 more. We paid the previous attorney a month. Over $1,000, $12,000 more a year.
Mayor, you are
and you're doing less. You're doing twice as less than what she was doing.
Okay, Mayor. First of all, you've never had an agenda with this many matters on it. In the 2 years your former city attorney was here, incidentally, I came up with the defense to the litigation that she's now claiming
now
a big victory on.
You may get this far. You actually want to get credit for that.
Yeah, you want to get credit for $15 million?
I don't have to. All you got to do is look in the record.
I wouldn't even put that out, Brandenburg. I really wouldn't. But
well, that's why there's a difference between you and me.
Let's stick with the on C. I don't know what the commissioner would do with that, but I think that would be ludicrous to charge a person for changing locks when we would have did it anyway.
But them three gonna vote for it.
Enough already.
Ain't gonna be no enough.
Enough.
Ain't gonna be no enough. Ain't nothing to do with get over there.
All right.
Since the mayor, he just threatened to get over here, and since the mayor.
I said you need to get over there. You say you
Hey.
can't.
Please.
You ain't telling Brandenburg that.
Mr. Brown. Don't want to ask nothing about that.
So that I can listen to what is going on.
Well, catch on YouTube.
I need everybody to be in order. I need everybody to be in order.
We still on questions, well, where we at?
We're talking about
C1.
the city attorney recommendation to attempt to charge the former city manager for the relocking of the keys.
So the city manager, so that's why he hasn't got paid for 3 weeks, because they hold on his pay for that.
Everybody paid.
Well, you approved the payout for the last employee.
Commissioner, what I believe we're trying to do is to make sure that people don't run out of the city with chunks of money that they don't deserve, like
That's
Mr.
okay.
Williamson did with a check for $67,000.
Well, that's his cut. Mr. Brown, you're gonna bring that up later, okay?
I
So,
will.
okay, so
It's
bring
on
that
the
up. Right
agenda.
now, we're talking about Mr. Lucas.
Yeah, and that's
He
exactly.
worked those 3 weeks. He worked the 3 weeks. So now you're saying, and these three gonna agree not to pay him his pay.
He'll get
Anybody, whether you, anybody that you like him or
Commissioner,
not, you pay them their
Mr.
fee.
Lucas will get paid everything he deserves. If
How?
the city commission determines that he should have a deduction for the cost of rekeying City
No,
Hall,
no.
then
You did
that's
that,
what
Mr.
will
Brandenburg,
happen.
on your own.
That was something you did. You did that.
Okay.
You did that. The vote gonna be 3 yes.
That's wrong.
That's gonna be 3 yes. Cause they nothing but ball.
Anybody sit here and agree with someone taking their salary, that's wrong.
I don't hear a motion, I don't hear a motion on that.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion.
That's wrong.
We,
What about the files, Mr. Mayor, that Mr. Brandenburg took out the office? What about those files? Where are those files, Mr. Brandenburg? Where y'all can do.
Mr. Mayor, I think you have a motion on the
There
floor. I'll
was
be
foul.
happy to answer the commissioner's question
we don't have a
when you're
second,
done
though.
voting on it.
We don't
I
have a
haven't made the
second.
motion yet.
I have a question, Mayor.
I'd like to. Can they just be quiet? Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we charge Mr. Lucas with rekeying all the city facilities.
That's wrong, Virginia, you know you're wrong, that y'all take someone's salary.
It's a
Now, what if they
motion,
take your salary?
it's a motion by
You're wrong,
Vice
you know
Mayor
you're wrong.
Bowles.
That's all right.
And second by Perez.
All right.
That's gonna be you coming out the city money. Ain't no people coming
I
back.
hope y'all remember what y'all doing. It's coming back on you.
We're trying not to clear, we're trying not to be in recess and clear the chamber. We're trying to conduct the business. There's a motion and a second on the
Coming back
floor.
on you, keep on.
Commissioner Gonzalez have a question.
Keep on.
Is there a way we can hold off on that and to see what the court says?
The court does not have that issue in front of it. That
He's saying the
that
issue
issue
about
has
who's really in
never been in
charge.
front of the court, and it's not now.
He said about the
The
issue
court
who's
has
really
nothing
in
to do
charge.
with this issue.
We ain't no hurry.
Okay. He's
This is in reference to the city manager, interim city manager, not the mayor.
Yeah, the court, that's not in front of the court. The court has never even,
Well,
there's no
you don't
case
need to-
pending in front of a court on that issue.
Well, he
That's a
wants you to take the
decision
city
of the
manager's money
city,
and
whether
pay
or
for
not you're
laws.
going to
That's wrong.
hold the city manager responsible
That's wrong.
for not
He's not
turning over the
responsible.
keys
That's
to
wrong.
the city hall. If you want to hold him responsible, you vote as recommended.
That's wrong.
If you don't want to hold him responsible, you vote no.
But wouldn't it be,
let
wouldn't he
Just
take
vote
support
no.
for that?
let him talk.
I can't hear him.
Hey,
Would he take us to court for that?
I can't hear you, sir.
Would he take us to court for that, and it would jeopardize us
Not
even paying
likely,
more?
not likely. First of all, you're talking $2,500, so it's not very much money. So it's very unlikely that he'll take it to court for us, and if he does, I'll defend it because the guy doesn't have a single leg to stand on.
It's not negotiable.
Wow.
this city is gonna eventually be bankrupt. I mean, that's so vindictive.
Juan, can you
For
say
something
if it
so
takes
small.
$2,500 out your check? Can you say if somebody just take $2,500 out your check?
This happened before.
No, that's wrong.
Y'all better think about what we doing.
Okay, in additional questions, I don't think he can get 3 votes on this, and that's crazy.
I mean, there's no way we can have him present to, because I personally did call him to get the keys, and he told me he was.
Well, you don't need the keys now. He done changed the locks. What you need the keys for? Keys changed. And come to think of it, the man didn't even have the keys. What he thinking? He was saying.
That's when he was supposed to.
He was supposed to give up keys. He wasn't ordered to give up keys.
He's killing the community. He's killing
He wasn't ordered to give
on
up
something
keys.
so minor
No, he
and so
wasn't.
trivial.
Mr. Brandenburg did this on his own.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. In additional question. In additional question. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Bowling,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
I hate to say this, but no.
Commissioner Mervin,
No.
Mayor Bab,
Good move. No. Motion failed. 3-2.
No, this isn't a winner, law. This is no reason to clap. We're in a big situation in the city. No matter who's winning or losing. This isn't about who's winning or losing. This is right is right and what's wrong is wrong.
Don't try to explain that one yes. You voted no one time. Don't try to explain it.
It's okay.
That's okay. You voted no one time. At least you failed one time.
Next item, failure to hand over city computer system access codes to the alarm system, and access to the city website.
Mr. Mayor, as we've already discussed, either Mark Litsky is lying about handing over the codes to you, or you're lying about not giving them to the city. So in any event, the city is going to incur $20,000 as a result of that. Let's just call it a miscommunication at this point. I'm suggesting that the city hold you or Mr. Litsky responsible for the city having to go to that additional expense.
So you want a personal thing against the mayor?
Yeah, you have some serious issues there. I have told you, and I'm going to tell you again, I have received no code, absolutely no code, through email or personally from Mark.
Okay, so then you
Absolutely
should
not.
be in favor of holding Mark responsible for not turning him over, shouldn't you?
I don't know if he...
No, it shouldn't.
No.
No? Why not? It's costing us $20,000 to get those codes. Why wouldn't you hold him responsible for not turning him over to you or to the city?
I don't know if he's responsible or not. You claim.
He's the only one. He's our IT guy. He's got the codes. He set your system up. You know that.
Again, Brandenburg, if you would have been a professional in dealing with this guy, we would have had those codes. I think we should charge you, to be honest. I'm serious.
Okay, this seems like a repeat of the same discussion we had before. And if you had been a responsible mayor, you would have called Mark up in a very nice manner like you claim and would have gotten him for the city and helped us out. But you didn't.
Well, Mr. Brandenburg, I have the email. I have the email where you were rude to Mr. The reason why it wasn't turned over.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion.
Hey, we're gonna.
Commissioner Mervin, do you think that because someone, in someone's opinion, is rude, would allow that person to be justified in not turning over the access to all the city systems?
Well, you being rude tonight. And so the email from from Mark, it pertains in the conversation between you and Mark.
Commissioner, if you want to just have the residents pay the $20,000 for his failure, if you want the residents to pay for that, then you should vote no on holding him responsible.
Yeah, it would be vote no.
I'd like to make a motion, please.
Commissioner.
I'd like to make a
Vice Mayor.
motion that we charge Mr. Mark Litsky with failure to hand over city computer system access code to the alarm system, and access to the city website.
Yeah, but if this man ain't in the city, you calm down.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor and properly second by Commissioner Perez that we hold Mark responsible for. Call for question.
Mayor Val, this is, whole total thing is kind of ridiculous. The whole thing we hearing tonight, that I'm not gonna say city attorney, I'm gonna say Mr. Brandenburg, is putting on the community. He's charging, he wants to sue the mayor, he wants to sue, if I'm not mistaken, he wants to sue the mayor, he wants to sue the city manager, he wants to sue the attorney Weeks, he wants to sue, so far he wants to sue everybody in the here since he's been here. Now, be honest, the meetings that they had was illegal meetings anyway, when they made these resolutions to hire Mr. Brandenburg. They were illegal. Okay, now it comes to the floor where now, because he went over from the meeting to change the locks at the door, it was nothing in place that Mr. Lucas had to turn over any keys. It was not. It's still in course right now. So let me ask you, if tomorrow go to court, attorney says, the judge says, okay, everything is what Mr. Brandenburg did was illegal, then what? So it's in court. Mr. Brandenburg didn't get word that he can come here and run the city. It wasn't said. What was said in court, let me finish. What was said in court was that I will make a decision. He set a date to bring evidence. He would make a decision in this matter. So to me, everything should have stayed as is until the judge made his decision.
That's right.
Once the judge made a decision, whichever way it would have went, that's the way the city would have to go.
But Brandenburg don't want that.
No one gave Mr. Brandenburg the authority to come and do what he's doing here tonight. Hey, Mr. Brandenburg knows that.
Any additional questions?
Yes, I want to say, I don't think that this city should have to pay because the IT guy refuses to give us our information.
No, Mr.
That is
Brandenburg.
ridiculous.
Not the city, Mr. Brandenburg.
He did it, y'all.
I can't imagine that anyone would want us not to go after him.
Mr. Brandenburg ain't had proper authority. He had proper authority. He didn't have proper authority to go and do
Okay.
That's what y'all
Jimbo, I would say this, if we charged anybody, it really should be Mr. Brandenburg, because if he was just cordial, polite, courteous to this guy, he was downloading information. He even showed a flash where the information was being downloaded. It was taking a while, and I think he even sent what he even had to the city clerk, but she couldn't open it up. So he was really cooperating. He got to the point, he just couldn't even deal with him.
Okay, Mayor. That is incorrect.
That is correct.
You know that's incorrect.
That's correct.
He sent it to the city clerk on a system that the city clerk could not access.
He didn't know that.
He knew it. He set the system up.
Yeah, of course I knew it.
The thing, Mr. Mayor, let's just say, the thing that he was asking for, the thing Mr. Brandenburg was asking for were emails of Mr. Williamson from 2017 up to present. Let's just be, that's what he was asking for. It wasn't about the codes. He was asking for emails from 2017 up to present. That's what he was asking for. From email, when Mark asked him, said, well, you have not shown me anything that to show that you are legally the city attorney. So I cannot release anything to you till I have it on paper. That's what his to say. Then Mr. Brandenburg got rude with the IT guy. So when the IT guy said, well, you know what, instead of firing me, don't worry about it, because as of this day, immediately, I would terminate my services with the city of Pahokee. That's what actually happened. Because it's email. It's email. Read the email. It's to you too. It's to you too. It's to you too. Read the email. If you know how to open your computer, read the email.
Okay.
It's to all of y'all. All y'all got it.
We got a motion and a second on the floor.
All y'all got the email. It's in the email to
When
all the commissioners.
When the call for question, hearing no additional question, are you ready for a vote? Roll call.
Vice Mayor Boland?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
No.
Mayor Bab,
No.
They go to 3 barber heads, yes.
Motion passed by a majority vote.
They know it's wrong. They know it's wrong. That's all right. It's an email. It's an email.
That's another lawsuit.
Discussion regarding city website.
It's an email.
Because I'm telling you the truth. We are friends. I thought we were friends. But anytime you come against my brother,
Wayne,
I don't want to
Wayne,
hear it. I don't
Wayne,
want to hear it.
Wayne.
I don't want to hear it.
We're on tape nationwide, probably.
Mayor Bab, but Mr. Brandenburg was gonna answer why he took the files out of City Hall. I'll let him know that.
Oh, okay.
And what files were taken out and why.
They saw you
Okay,
taking a
I
box
would
load
like
of
to answer
files.
that
Okay.
question, Mayor. Would you give me the opportunity to do so?
Yes.
I did not take any files out of City Hall when you fired me as city attorney
No.
2 years ago.
The other day, there's pictures of.
Oh, yeah, I've got those in my office. And this is part of it right here. This is the Code of Ordinances. By the way, like I mentioned before, it hasn't been updated in 2.5 years.
Well, we didn't have a city
And-
clerk for 2.5 years.
Yes, you did. The ordinance you just argued over, plus other ones.
Who's the city clerk?
And it's the city manager who has to pay for it and arrange for it. You know that. Okay, so I had this. I had a copy of the city personnel rules, and I had a box of loose materials that was sitting in the city manager's office that included a invoice from your engineer for over $400,000.
I called him today and he was gonna be here and correct that, but he's in another.
Well, how would he,
So-
now tell me how he's gonna correct an
I don't know,
invoice.
I'll have him on the phone. I can
Oh,
call
well,
him.
okay, I'd be welcome.
The engineer.
Commissioner, it's a $400,000 invoice for services that were supposedly rendered from 2017 till today.
And Barfield Highway is on there, which has just begun. Barfield Highway, who just begun.
Yeah, so what, it's on there,
Okay,
so it's a
right
lot of
now,
other stuff.
and right now, if Commissioner Bowling could even address that, we was trying to do a resolution of one of $67,000 with the Palm Beach County for the water system, the pipes going in, which was never was able to even get passed. So if you want to call it, I don't think it's fair to even bring that up until you get Rod here himself.
You brought it up.
No, you did, when you brought up AUG.
You asked what was in the box, I just told you.
Go ahead.
All this background crazy stuff. He shouldn't have got none of that
Ron, the engineer, will be here. Go
Well,
ahead.
good, because we got a lot of questions for Mr. Rod, the
Yeah,
engineer.
that's good.
Yeah.
Let's move to the discussion of the website.
Mayor, as I understand it now, the city does have access to the city website. We didn't for a while, but I guess the city or our new IT personnel have found a way to access it, which is why the minutes were just added to it. Apparently, Ms. Adams was the one responsible for adding minutes to the website and updating it, and that wasn't done for quite a period of time. So I don't think we need to take any action on the city website at this time. It appears that that matter is under control.
Thank you. City clerk compensation.
Yes, this item was brought up earlier when the city clerk was rehired by the majority vote of the city commission. She came on the city payroll at the same rate that she was making before, which I believe is $62,500. The purpose of this item on the agenda tonight is for the commission to consider what would be a fair salary for her moving forward, considering she came in and bailed the city out when you didn't have a clerk and made no attempt of hiring one, when the position was empty, and her brother died of COVID, but she still showed up and bailed the city out. So I'm recommending that the city proceed with a salary of $72,000 moving forward for the city clerk.
Hey, we got 5,000 people in this city. Why everybody got, why we got a million dollars?
Oh, T1, don't find yourself in the pocket.
If the majority of the commission doesn't feel that's the right number, you can, of course, modify my recommendation any way you desire.
Well, you know we still have a hat on the table for her to get annual increases of 2%, because originally she did ask for 75, and we tried to have a creative way to bring her up to that within a few years.
Mayor, I understand that, and that's a great policy, and I think you should be complimented for adopting it. I do believe that she has shown a high degree of honesty and responsibility, because when the city manager was previously trying to instruct her to do things like not advertising the special meetings, advertising the special meetings at the wrong date, or otherwise screwing up the notices for these special meetings, when the commission was trying to move things forward, she said, I've had enough of this, I'm not going to do it, and she quit. And she should be complimented for that.
Tijuana, be honest with the conversation, Tijuana.
That's not totally true.
You know it wasn't the city, man, be honest.
In that first
Conversation, you called these 3 years, now be honest.
in that first special meeting that was held,
Be
she
honest.
realized that the request wasn't within the 12 hours.
Wow.
All she asked of these commissions to just remodify the date.
Well, that's
or
a
the
good point.
time.
That's a good point, Mayor. And if you look at that commission, the charter regarding special meetings, it specifically says 12 hours notice if possible.
Right.
12 hours notice is not a requirement for the meeting.
It says, if possible, at least 12 hours.
At least 12 hours.
So you telling me?
It doesn't say at least. You want me to read it?
Yes, I have it here too. I guarantee you it say at least.
It's at least 12
At
hours.
least. The word at least is in there. And let me say this here. Even those special meetings, you all bypass the mayor
At least 12 hours.
and Commissioner Mervin. You quit requesting whether we was yay or nay on having a special meeting. Even your ordinance or your checklist only listed as 3 commissioners.
Yeah,
We didn't even
okay.
have an opportunity to participate.
The charter says 3 commissioners can
all,
call.
all must be able, all must be offered the opportunity to have that special meeting. We can certainly say no. If you got 3 commissioners, it passes. But you, once you came on board, you didn't even give us that opportunity.
You were given copies of all the agendas.
Just copies.
Opportunity.
Just copies, not the right to participate.
Mayor, you just said it didn't matter if you voted no.
But
It would
that
still
doesn't-
have.
we still have the right.
Mayor, you knew of the time and the place of the special meeting. You chose not to show up.
So you decide to have a special meeting, and then you give me a notice that this is what you're gonna do.
Mayor, I don't decide anything. The 3 commissioners do.
Okay. Let him look at that. I guarantee you it say at least. If it don't,
Is it but
I'll
not
let-
less
I'll
than
let-
12 hours?
You read it right in
notice?
front of you. It says at least 12 hours.
Thank you.
Hold it.
That's it.
No,
We
that's
don't
not
need-
it.
we don't
It
need to-
says at least 12 hours if possible.
That wasn't possible to have the meeting in 12 hours. Still doing it at 10, you could have did it at 12, 11:30, 1 o'clock. You could have easily met the 12 hours. Why you think the clerk didn't show up for that?
Whenever practicable,
Yes.
there shall be not less than 12 hours.
Thank you.
That's it.
That's what
Okay,
you're talking about.
so you admit that it is not required.
What y'all did is illegal. They're telling you what y'all
Okay,
did is
we're gonna move on from that.
I hope so.
It's sad.
They need to
It is
know
sad.
what y'all did was
It's sad.
Are we
Okay,
discussing
where we
the
are now?
city clerk,
Where we are
or are
now?
we discussing this?
What y'all did was wrong.
Clerk compensation, that's any consideration from this commission?
I know she wrong.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Ms. Warner, do you have anybody to help you in your, do you have anyone to help you in your department, or are you alone?
I work alone.
You do it all yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
It always been her.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
always been her.
And
It has always been done by the clerk, but it also has not
it's
been
always
over
been
2
her.
years behind, as well as
It
the
always been
filings
her.
are 2 years behind, as well as the deeds for the cemeteries are 2 years behind, as well as being taken to the county to file are 2 years behind.
Well, that's
So
the
now
reason
I
why
am
you said in
catching
your
up.
budget,
And I am
you put more money in the budget.
I am requesting a salary. That doesn't mean you have to affirm it or approve it, but I am requesting. Now, you can hire somebody else. That's no problem.
No.
I am requesting that salary. Now, I don't want to be in the middle of a confrontation, but this is what I request. When you put in for a job, what do? Request. When they ask you what salary you're requesting, they ask you. So I'm
Well, you did that prior
asking,
to hiring.
that's my salary request.
Prior to being hired before, you requested, okay, they voted for what you requested before. Yes, they did. These three voted and gave you what you requested before.
No, they didn't.
These
I
three
requested 75,000 when I first came on.
They
did not give
but
me
then they
what I
came out with
requested.
62 with 2% raise every year. Now,
they did.
with that being said, you were satisfied with that. Now, this statement that Mr. Brandenburg made that you left because of the manager and stuff like that. Now remember,
left
let me
because-
finish.
no, let me tell you
wait
why I
a minute,
left.
wait a minute,
No.
T-Ward. Let's not forget the conversation that you had, that me and you had, and that was not what you said.
That
That
was
was not what you
because of
said.
everything that is going on. The same reason these citizens are coming up here speaking and everything with these commissioners. You have staff here that are loyal. And yet you coming at me because I want to increase in salary. Yes, I do. I stay over at these meetings every night. Hold on. No, I'm talking because she was saying, let me express my opinion. I work overtime almost every week. I do not get paid overtime. Do not compare me to another director that's not here putting in his time.
Compare you to nobody.
That's what was compared the last meeting when you said we got other directors that's been here 20 years. Those directors does not have to sit up here every night while their kids are home. Now, I did accept this job, but I'm requesting this salary because I need to be compensated for my time, my trouble, and what I have to go through. Public records requests and everything. If you don't feel that way,
You ain't worth that.
if you don't feel that way,
Point of privilege. Mr. Chair,
because they coming at me.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
That's your opinion, Mr.
I'd like to make a motion, please.
Hey, in the back here.
I'd like to make a motion.
Let city manager have one question.
city manager one.
Mr. Chair, if I save my short time here, I think she's every bit worth 72,000. I think she's every bit worth 75,000. She has, the short time working with her, she goes above and beyond. You see her here, she's taken on more roles, such as cemetery, playing catch-up. A lot of different things hadn't been taken care of. She's doing it, and if we hope to retain a qualified city clerk, I think we should.
Let me ask you, Mr. City Manager,
I'm gonna ask the audience, please. It's not a discussion for the audience right now.
Mr. City Manager, are we looking to get her some help so that she can get caught up?
She's asking for a small raise. If we get her help, it'll be double or triple that. So she's willing to take on the role for a little more. It's more cost effective to pay her and let her do it than it is to hire another person at head count, in my view.
So you're saying for 10,000, then she's going to do it? Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you.
But a clerk isn't just an employment, it's an appointed office. And it's very important to any municipality. They play a big role.
Mr. Sidman, I'm not questioning.
So I just want everybody to base their decision on fact and understand what a clerk does so you can make an educated decision. I'm afraid if we do not, we will lose our clerk and we will have to advertise and we'll be in the hole that we were before she came. To recruit, if she does leave and to recruit somebody, especially after watching these meetings, a clerk would be insane to apply for a job here. That's my view.
Mr. City Manager, it wasn't the point about the salary. It wasn't the point about the salary. The thing about, and I don't have problem, it's not the salary. But when she got hired, they made a statement of what it should be. But y'all, of what the budget was, that was in the budget. They voted for that, okay? Now, when she left, I don't have a problem with, I know Tijuana works, I know what she can do. Even when I went in there and spoke with Miss Tijuana, she even said that she can get either some of the, what do you say, you can get somebody to come here do filing or whatever like that, but they will up the budget for the city clerk's position to handle that if she needed help. Now, me and her talked about this. So this is how I know now, but to come now and say, because once you approve this 70 or whatever, it really jumps up over 80 to 90,000 when you add benefits and stuff in there. That's what you pay if you look for as a city manager.
That's a lot of money.
That's what, and honestly, the budget that we have, I don't know whether you know the budget that we have, it's not in the budget. That's what, it's not in the budget. So the thing, where's it coming from? It's not even in the budget.
Could we do this?
Thank you.
Give her a modest increase, and during our budget, see if we can find the money that would support the salary what she's requesting. I mean, we're ready in the budget year anyway, so we're only talking about another month. If we can identify where 72, 75,000 can come from.
What would be your recommendation, Mr. Chair?
Make the scale even.
That's a lot. You want to pay that. You want to pay this, but then want to pay out different.
I want to just make a motion.
I would say 65.
Could I make a point?
Somebody can make a count off on that.
We're short-staffed right now. We're short a finance director, the lady up front, and everybody's pitching in and taking on dual roles. And Tawana especially has taken on dual roles. There's a lot of catching up at the cemetery, and I can only imagine how long it's going to take to get that straightened out. And that's something she's going to be working on and putting in, their salary. And I must say, when you increase a salary person, they don't get more insurance, they don't get more anything other than a little bit difference in the pension. But
if you add it all up, it does increase. If you add it up, it
I'd like to make a motion, please, and get this over with.
What's your motion?
My motion is to pay Tawana the $72,000 that she's worth and she wants to get paid.
A second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Perez and second by Vice Mayor Bolden to pay the clerk a salary of $72,000. Call for question.
it just the question is, and I know I'm gonna be quiet, but the question is, any other time in these meetings, any other time in meetings when we talks about dishing out money, these same three here always votes no.
You dish it up this.
They always vote no. They always vote no. They always vote no. They always vote no. They pay $10,000 to an interim. They pay $1,000, $7,000 a month to Brandenburg. Now another 70-some thousand from here. Come on.
Whatever it takes to get the city running. Whatever it takes to get the city running.
They running right there. He didn't never get the raise. So check your book. He didn't get the raise. That's a lie y'all keep putting
Any
out.
additional questions?
That's a lie you keep putting
Hearing
out.
none, roll call, Madam.
Bring the facts. Bring the facts.
Commissioner.
Bring the facts.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
No.
Mayor Bab,
No. Motion passes by majority vote. Okay. Report of the mayor. This is going to be really, really brief.
Don't be brief, man.
In March of 2022, we'll be celebrating 100 years anniversary. Should be a joyful time, but we're in a sad state of our city. We are a divided city, whether you believe it or not. We're very, very, very divided. And we really need to work on that. You know, we really do. I have to admit, I try to respect Mr. Brandenburg as much as possible, but I think since he's been here as our city attorney, he has created a chaotic system, and it has more divided the community. But even regardless of our differences, we have to learn to at least respect those differences, even if we don't agree with them. We're talking over each other, we're arguing at each other, and that's not good. We claim we all love Pahokee, but we on TV, we on national news, and it doesn't paint a very good picture. We've been sat back 10 years, folks. We have started some progress. The foundation was there. It was a solid foundation. Even though you may not have saw the walls or the roof or the windows, that foundation was solid. We're breaking it up because our refusal to work together. And to our elected officials, including myself, we have to listen to our citizens. We have to look at what they are asking us to do, to work together to move this city forward. And that's something we're not doing. And it's going to be a big difference in the next election. You will see the results of whether you feel you was right or you was wrong. I know some claim they had 62% of the vote or whatever number. I guarantee you those numbers won't be the same in March. But between now and March, we may be able to make a difference if we only try. That's conclude my report. I'll turn this over now to our city manager for his report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for those words. It's truly an honor to serve the city. I've heard some few comments tonight. I would welcome anybody to come down and talk with me and judge me for face-to-face conversation. Where I come from, I've worked and fought for working families all my life, and I address this seat the same way. Been putting out fires since I got here. I look forward to working with the commission as a whole to promote and move the business of the city forward. The citizens deserve it, they demand it, and we're going to do it. I've directed the staff not to take any direction from any commissioner. It's not fair for staff to have to work under those conditions. They just want to do a job, get a paycheck, and take care of their families. They don't deserve to work under this political mess right now. I look forward to working for you. I invite anyone down. I welcome anybody in my office. And look forward to working with you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. One question, city manager. I've heard, and I haven't really, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't spoke directly with any staff, but I've heard that our staff now is being subjected to drug tests once a employee's hired, unless there's some red flags or some condition where we need to check their drug status. That's normal. It's not what occurred. So I'm asking you as city manager, I don't know if it came from Ms. Brandenburg or you or whoever, I just need clarification. Are our staff being subjected now to drug tests?
No, sir, I have no knowledge of being subjected to drug tests. I think the policy is if it's an accident and it has to be random, and a random has to be a true random test. It can't be handpicked. I will not pick out a single person and drug test them for suspicion. It has to be an accident or a random. So I reassure you, nobody's being singled out to take drug tests.
Mr. Mayor, I have not commented to anybody with respect to drug testing, period.
And please, Mr. Chair, if you hear that, give me a call.
All right, thank you.
I
We'll
appreciate
move
it.
now to the city attorney's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, there are several Inspector General reports. The reason why I put these on the agenda was I believe there was a concerted effort in the past not to make these available to the city residents about mismanagement in the city by the former city manager and others. As you recall, the first item, the Pahokee holiday schedule, you submitted that complaint to the Inspector General. And the Inspector General came back and said that Mr. Williams had, in fact, exceeded his authority and allowed employees to stay home at times when he was not supposed to do so.
Let me make one comment on that too, Ms. Brandenburg, just
Sure.
to kind of clarify and clear your mind.
Absolutely.
I also called it you when I had concerns about that. Because it happened in 2016 and it happened the following year. But I left you twice a detailed message. So I wanted you to be that bridge between myself and the city manager, because we definitely had a disagreement on that. I gave you the information in detail of my concern twice.
You're talking about back 2.5
And you
years
didn't
ago?
call back and you didn't respond to it. So I just want to let you
2.5
know.
years ago?
Huh?
2.5 years ago?
Yeah, when I made the report.
Could you send me that again, because I don't recall any such request from you.
No, it was a verbal on the phone. I left a detailed message and you never ever called back. So all I'm
Because I didn't
saying, you
get it.
bear a little of that responsibility. I couldn't get legal counsel to kind
Mayor,
of.
you complained to the Inspector General. The Inspector General came back and said you were correct.
Right, but I'm saying prior to that, I just wanted your input.
Okay,
So-
I just wanted
Okay.
the residents to know that, because they hadn't been given copies of this
Oh,
in
they
the
have.
past.
Yes, they have. Every
That's been
resident
circulated
knows, every
everywhere.
Well, then,
resident has.
perhaps this is a waste of time. I'll
It
just
is a
go
waste.
through
All
the
this
next
stuff is
items
old
very
and cold.
quickly.
And not only that, we'll make copies available
All
at the
this stuff
next
old and
meeting so
cold.
anybody
It's
can
cold.
review.
Well, I've got copies right now, so they can take them with them.
Good. It's
Okay,
cold.
the next inspector report found that the Pahokee city manager, Chandler Williamson, improperly authorized Techno Marine a $150,000 check to them. That was unauthorized. It was not in keeping with the policies of the city. It was beyond his authority, and he shouldn't have done it. They also found that he signed, on behalf of the city, a $1.2 million contract to commit the city to work at the marina, which he had no authority to do, and the Inspector General confirmed all those items. That report is available for all of our folks out there as well. The last Inspector General report found that from June 2015 through May of 2019, the city manager inappropriately used the city's credit card in violation of the city policy and directives. He used the credit card for expenses that were not related to approved city business, for travel expenses that lacked required travel requests or forms, supporting documentation, or travel without utilizing the most economic means of transportation. It resulted in identified losses to the city of $5,000 $840.92, which he ultimately paid back. They had identified another $15,949 that were questionable costs that the mayor nor anyone on the commission at that time took any action to clarify or to seek reimbursement from the city manager. Now, it's my understanding that the state attorney's office was looking very carefully at these in order to determine whether or not to charge Mr. Williamson with a crime. Apparently, he had some conversations with you, Mayor, and you told them that the city commission decided not to proceed with charges against him.
With me?
No, that's,
Don't, who had conversation with me?
What I understand is that you had conversations.
With who?
With the detective or investigator at the state attorney's office.
No, I never spoke with anyone at the state attorney's office.
Then, do you want to proceed with charges against
They
Chandler
have
Williamson
already
for
looked at
this?
that, and we have the letter
They did that
saying
already.
that based on the information they have, they could not, within a reasonable doubt, say he intended to do anything that he did.
Okay. It's your
And let's go back to the
Okay, then,
15,000.
Mayor,
and I'm
it's your
not-
position then that the city should not hold Chandler
No, I'm
responsible?
saying, we done had the state attorney, we had everybody investigate that we can.
Okay, Mayor, so the state attorney said they cannot hold him
they're done.
responsible beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
Do you think the city,
They said.
do you think the city, as a matter of good management, should go after Chandler Williams
That's not
for
what
that
they said.
$15,000 of unauthorized costs? Do you think we should do that?
I can see your frustration. I understand that. This been bothering you
I'm
for
not
over.
frustrated about it.
It's
It's
been
a
bothering
city
you
money.
for over 2 years.
That's not what they said.
If this city,
Mayor,
if
are
this
you
city-
willing to
No,
forgive somebody because a little bit of time has gone by? Do you want to go after Chandler Williamson
because
for
they-
the money or not?
These
It's a
three
simple
did it
question.
already.
if the state
Y'all did that
attorney
already.
didn't charge him,
We're not
or
talking
did that
about
already.
criminal charges. We're talking about civilly proceeding against Chandler for the repayment of $15,000 of questionable costs.
No.
The statute of limitations has not run on it. So it's your decision
he's
as a
mad.
commission
Yeah.
whether you want to sweep those costs under
Okay.
the carpet or whether you want to try to
That's
recover
not
them.
have you asked yourself once? Have you asked yourself once, why did they turn a questionable cost, and why did they not recommend he reimburse the city? Because if they had, the IG I'm speaking of, if they had requested or recommended that he reimburse them for those questionable costs, we would certainly would have pursued that.
Mayor,
Now,
the
just
front page
my-
of the side of right here says,
No.
credit card charges without sufficient documentation to justify an expense resulted in questioned costs of $15,941.
That was over a 5-year
Do you
period.
think it would have been a good idea for the city commission and management to get answers on why those costs were questioned and determine whether or not you should go
That
after
IG did
Mr.
a
Williams?
thorough investigation,
And
but
they
if
did.
this city commission
Well,
want
Mayor,
to
it's
drag
kinda
us
obvious
in
where you're going on
lawsuits,
that.
that's fine. It's up to the commission.
May I say something?
But they did.
I'm not here to protect Chandler Williamson.
sure
As
seems
you
like it.
indicated, I submitted the first complaint against him. Even the Techno Marine, the $150,000, I strongly question that because it was initially told to me it was for reimbursement. And that wasn't the case.
So, Mayor,
Then
do
it
you-
was an advancement, which the contract didn't call for. So I question everything within my authority to to question. Look at some of the recordings.
So now we're asking the city commission, if the city commission would like to look into that further, because you have exhausted your authority and came to no conclusion. So that's the question before the commission. Does the commission want to see a more thorough investigation on these questions costs?
Okay,
That's
now-
simple.
Okay, now, Mayor,
And I put
Mayor.
that as someone who has been buried when they had the funeral and you want to zoom the body up. You see, at some point, you need to let things go,
Mayor
heal,
Bell.
and move forward. But we can do that.
Okay,
Go
Mayor
on.
Bell, these three,
For the audience that's listening.
Mayor Bell, these three right here.
I want you to listen to what's going on here.
Please
okay?
do.
Whatever he
Please
did
do.
is fine. He could
That's
go
not what-
home. We're nothing gonna do it. What he did was fine. It's okay with her. It's okay with him. Everything's okay. He took whatever he took. And it's fine.
That's not true.
And this is the people that you have
Well, you
here.
try to take money from the city yourself, so hush. But the,
I was suing for the money
Okay,
that
but you didn't get it,
I
but
had
okay.
to spend because
Okay.
you,
You don't-
guys disqualified me without
You didn't
no
do-
authority or
Sarah,
no legal right.
Sarah, you know you.
So don't confuse it. And the judge ruled in my favor.
Sarah, you don't live in Pahokee.
You sue the city. You sue the city. You sue the city.
Hey.
But you claim you failed. Was that okay? Was that okay? Or it's okay because that's your brother, right?
They finna move up. They gonna pull out too. See what I'm saying? This ain't
It's
no
about time they should have taken you out an hour
The
ago.
mayor asked y'all to move Brandenburg and they didn't do it.
okay, Mayor, what I was saying is,
Mr.
what
Mayor,
I
I'd
was
like to
saying
make a
is,
motion.
if these remember, see, the problem where the problem is coming in at, they asked for that same, and you can be honest, one,
I'd
y'all
like to
asked
make
for
a
that
motion.
same thorough investigation before. Y'all three did. Y'all voted on that. Y'all directed the city attorney, city manager to send the stuff to.
Never did.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not. He never came
Listen,
back to us and
listen.
said
Oh,
anything about it.
God. Can I finish? That was directed from Regina Bowling made the motion that the stuff be sent over again to be thorough investigated by the Attorney General.
I would like to make a motion.
You
please.
got to, well, I'm talking, you can't make it in the middle of my conversation.
That's why I haven't had a chance
So, that was done. That was done to the state. Then you got the report. All of you got the same report back from the IG, and you got the report back from the Attorney General. Am I right or not?
Okay.
One, am I right or not? Am I right or not?
Let me-
I ain't I'm defending what is
Why
right.
do you defend him so much? Why do you
hey,
defend him so
Mervyn.
much?
My God.
Perez,
Why?
Mervyn, both.
Ain't about
both.
it. I'm
Let a motion, if it's gonna come,
May I
in a
speak?
second, then we do discussion on it, and then we move forward.
I make a motion that
This 3-year-old
we
stuff, and you got budgets here that ain't done, you got projects that ain't done, and they going 3 years back, and let's move forward. Cause all he come for is just to go
Are
back.
you done?
Are you done?
Not yet. I'd like to make a motion that we
Jesus Christ.
push this 15,000 and change, and that we demand that if it can be prosecuted, if Mr. Williamson can be prosecuted, that he be prosecuted for this money.
I like to second it.
Been moved by the vice mayor, I probably second by
It didn't say, that's not
Commissioner
what IG report said.
Perez.
So it ain't going nowhere, so let it pass.
Time on this and the people
ain't going
gonna say it.
nowhere.
They clearly done told us already, let it go.
Call for question, any questions?
Yeah, I got something to say. Everybody around here who's familiar with the Inspector General know me very well. Everybody who knows me knows about. Is the thing even on?
Take your mask off.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. I personally called the Inspector General and the Attorney General about 2 weeks ago myself, and I was told that the last report was handed over to Mayor Babs, and they said that there was enough there to do further investigation, hold charges. But It was up to the mayor's decision to do what they're supposed to do. And the mayor said it's already been paid out.
Everybody.
This is true. I can give you the
Okay,
lieutenant's
everybody, you need to
number,
bring
name,
that.
and name.
Yeah, you need to.
I'm gonna see if I can.
Yeah, you need to
first get it
bring
cleared
that
out.
there because everybody's drinking some special Kool-Aid around here. All these accusations without any proof. No one from the Inspector General or the state attorney have brought me a report. The only time I saw that report is when the city manager, you may have mistaken to say the city manager versus the city mayor, but I didn't never receive a report personally stating what you're saying.
So why
when you up here,
there with two different letters?
What I'm gonna do
if
is,
everybody can hear you, you need to have some proof.
Okay,
And on top of that, you have a lengthy criminal record. You probably in charge with some items.
Oh, my God.
But they
you're talking
have
about
been
30 years ago.
Yeah, but I'm saying
30 years ago. What about your brother?
But
Your brother sued the city. What about your corruption?
I'm saying when some of
What
the
about
charges
30 years ago?
But when some of the charges reduced, was they some of them reduced?
Bro, it was reduced when I tried to join the
Okay, so
Navy.
that's what
When I
I'm
was trying to
saying.
join the Navy on September 11th, when the September 11th attack happened, it was taken to the governor.
Mayor,
This
are
guy
you going
found
to
out
ask
30
everyone here
years ago.
to lay out on the table their past criminal history?
Huh?
Are you going to ask everyone on the,
Yeah, if it got
on the
any- if
diocese
it got-
to ask
yes, if it got
to lay
some-
out their
hold on.
criminal
Yes,
history?
if you got some reference, because we got folks up here calling people.
Hold on.
We got some folks calling folks corrupt, and they're about as corrupt as you can get. So, yes, when you have that and you have an opportunity, you put it out there.
Okay,
Hold on.
Mayor, I think
Sam
there's a
Porter.
motion on the table. Could
Have
you
I,
vote
have
on
I
it,
not
please?
told you I had a criminal record right after I won the election? Did I not tell you that over the phone? That I had a criminal record. Yes or no?
You told me that after the fact, after you ran, but you never told me what it was. You said that you wouldn't let me know
No.
what
But
it
I told you it was a felony, right?
No, you never
I told you it was because you know why? Everybody who knows me knows I say I have felony. I don't take pride into it. You brought it up, so you hush, okay? So I never denied it.
Okay.
I never denied it.
You're talking to the public, out of order.
Mr. Chair.
Let's go ahead and vote on the
Kind
motion.
of a point of privilege. I don't
He's an idiot.
I don't have a dog in the fight.
We'll be here all night if it takes.
I just want to make a point. The standard for a criminal conviction and a civil suit is different. That's just all I want to say.
I'm glad for that civic lesson.
Man, we can't believe nothing you say, Mr. Brandenburg. You're a tricky lawyer.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. You ready for a vote?
Vice Mayor Boland?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Perez? Commissioner Gonzalez?
Hell yes.
Commissioner Mervin?
No.
Mayor Bab?
No.
Thank you, Mayor. The last item on my agenda is a matter that I reported to the Commission on Ethics. And what occurred there, as you recall, when I was city attorney before, that I had a habit of giving a lot of funds to various charitable interests in the city. In fact, Mayor, you voted to give me a plaque in recognition of that. One of those items that I had typically given was money to the local schools so they could take the kids on the annual trip up to St. Augustine. Well, it so happens that I was requested by a city commissioner to make a similar donation, and I did. And it turns out that donation really was for her child to go to St. Augustine. So, because I was city attorney, that concerned me when I found out about it. So I reported myself to the Commission on Ethics. And you see in your backup that they considered the matter thoroughly. In fact, they investigated it for about 6 months. And then they came back and said that the complaint against me is hereby dismissed with a letter of intent. I wanted to make sure that the residents knew all the issues, not just issues that folks think perhaps I hold a grudge about. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Appreciate your consideration this evening. Although we didn't get to the other items I wanted to add on, which I believe were critical for the city to move forward, I'm sure we will be able to handle that in either a special or the next regular meeting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Actually, no,
Okay. Our current ordinance called for our meeting to dismiss that, and I know it's gonna take a vote, so if you wanna stay all night, I'm prepared to. I don't have anywhere to go. I just don't wanna get sick with this virus, if not possible. So,
Let's
go.
finish it.
Can we at least do the council on the September the 14th and reschedule for the 15th, because that's for the budget. We
Okay.
actually need that done.
Okay, we can do that. Now, that actually was done, that original date was changed because of the school board hearing. It's I thought it was a law where
what
you
happened, you
couldn't
got-
have, did we change it from that school date?
No, the school date is the same. That's why we had to change our meeting. It was discussed, but you guys didn't vote. So I need you guys to vote on it so we can reschedule that
I'm
meeting.
lost my paperwork now, so. What are you actually, the changing of the commission meeting from,
Canceling the Tuesday, September the 14th city commission meeting and reschedule it to Wednesday, September the 15th.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we cancel the Tuesday, September 14th City Commission meeting and reschedule the Wednesday, September 15th, 2021.
can I get a second? It is moved by Vice Mayor Bolden and properly second by Commissioner Perez that we cancel the September 14 meeting and reschedule it to Wednesday, September the 15th. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Just want to ask the commission, y'all, you want to continue to finish this meeting out? I don't want to come up in the morning, but if it calls for, I can do that. But if you want to finish, we'll go.
I say finish it.
I can't come in when I work.
Okay,
I
let's,
work.
You've already done A, 6A.
I need to see part of the agenda. Oh, you know what's in the back on there?
Lead remote power plant operator.
6A.
Nice, huh?
Okay, so the city attorney report is done. Where's the second part of this?
On the back.
That's it?
Old business, number 6.
Old business.
Okay. So on the old business, former city manager complaint.
That's already been handled.
Okay. The American Rescue Plan Act 2021. Who has that? City manager?
Mr. Chair, what's?
The American Rescue Plan is on the agenda for old business.
In order to get your money in a timely manner, it comes in 2 tranches, they refer it to as. And the quicker you certify or get your information in, the quicker you get your second one within 2 weeks. And the city has done that. So we did everything required for the rescue plan money, ARPA, they call it.
And today they did call and request our final budget for 2019-2020 because they say the figure they had would have probably cost us 25% of their money because it wasn't, they didn't feel it was the right number there. So we had the city clerk forward that off to them. So we should hopefully be in good shape there. Okay, we talked about the cancellation of the September the 14th meeting and rescheduling. On the new business, the Mayor Golden Nail and Hammer Award. Normally that's given quarterly to a resident who have made significant improvement on their property, their residence or their store or whatever. And we usually get that information from pulling up permits that showing work or improvement that's been done, and we haven't done that in a while, so it's back as new business. So as a city manager, I'm not sure what your plans are to move that forward, and Mr. Brandenburg may be able to chime in and assist you on that, but that's why that's back on the report. That and the monthly lawn of the month, that's what we normally do, give out certificates and a little monetary.
Is there a committee that does that, Mr. Chair?
Sir?
Is there a committee that does that?
No, no, it wasn't a committee. I think, I don't know who the former city manager had working with him, identifying lawns. They'll look at it and decide this will be a great lawn to honor.
Code
We'll have
enforcement, Mayor.
code enforcement
Yeah.
assisted in that area.
Thank you, Commissioner Mervin.
So maybe at the next meeting, you can kind of update on us on the possibility of who that would be for
Yes,
the
sir.
next quarter. Future agenda items of the commission, if any, and we'll start with Commissioner Gonzalez. What we do here is each commissioner look at an item they want to have added on the commission agenda. It has to have a majority vote, and the city manager then put it on as a agenda item. Commissioner Gonzalez, any?
Yeah, I have a question. I don't know how everybody feels about it, but in previous jobs that I had with our administration, they were required to clock in and out, even when they were on salary. And it's not to time them to see how much they're making basically an hour, but to make sure we know where they're at on the job, if they're here or not here. So I would recommend, I don't know how to do it, to have even the administration to clock in and out.
Can't do nothing with that.
And security cameras around City Hall, since we don't have any.
So the motion is to look at a possible clocking in and out system?
Yes, sir.
In addition to cameras?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let you
All
take
right.
my picture.
Is there a second on that? At least have that on the
Second.
agenda for discussion?
Let me take your.
Then second,
I'm sending to-
call for questions. Hearing none, all in favor, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Yes?
Commissioner Mervin. Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner
Yeah, he
Per-
recorded me, so I'm recording him.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
have a police record, he does.
Vice Mayor Boland, in the future agenda item you'd like to?
Yes, sir. I'd like for us to discuss having our meetings live streamed in Spanish as well.
Okay. We, in a second on that?
Yeah, I second it.
Okay. Call for questions. Only thing on that, we definitely need to, well, it'll be put on the agenda, but we definitely need to get the costs associated with that. That's almost like
I
two,
think the old city manager was supposed to have been working on
right,
that.
right.
So we got a new one now.
How does that work? Will the caption be in Spanish? Will you have a Spanish voiceover? Like, how?
I don't know, I talked to the IT, or the gentleman back there, he talked to the city manager. He was supposed to have given him the cost, and that's, now the other city managers are here, so I don't know what happened.
Mr. Chair, can I recommend, at your pleasure, possibly amending that motion to look into it and get the
Right.
cost, to bring it before the commission and know the cost before we act on it?
I amend my motion to get the cost and look into it, and if you would bring that back to us.
I second it.
Okay. In addition to questions, hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland,
Yes?
Commissioner Perez, Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Got you. Nothing.
No.
Okay.
Nothing to add.
Okay. Commissioner Mervin, anything you'd like to consider adding to the
Along with
next?
that, Hammer and Nail should have been employee of the quarter. It's supposed to
Employee of
be
the
added.
quarter too?
Yeah, that's supposed to be added on there a long time when they added that, so.
Okay. Okay. Any second on that?
Second.
Okay, been motioned by Commissioner Mervin and properly second by Commissioner Gonzalez to add the employee of the quarter on our agenda so we can award our employees on that. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Boland?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Now, quickly, we'll do the, for the good of the order, community events, feel-good announcement, and we'll start from Commissioner Mervin and work ourselves to Gonzalez. Anything, Commissioner?
No.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Perez. Commissioner Vice Mayor Bolden.
No, sir.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
No, sir.
It's gonna be a vote, y'all, so don't panic. Having all business brought before us taken care of, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Can I get a second?
Second.
Been motioned by Vice Mayor Bolden, properly second by Commissioner Gonzalez for the adjournment of the meeting. Questions? Hearing none, all in favor, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Boland?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
All right.